Dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bow time.
The Jeep deals are on with the Make This the Summer event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Save as much as $17,000 off a shiny new 2024 Jeep Wrangler. How about a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited for over $10,000 off with so many to choose from? Got your eye on the 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S? Well, you should, because John Heister's got them for over $12,000 off, all in stock. Go anywhere, do anything. Just get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Highs this afternoon in the mid to upper 90s with a heat advisory in place for heat index values up to 107 degrees. Scattered showers and storms could bring some localized flooding and the threat for damaging wind gusts.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 185 points to 44,298. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws, end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown, Bailey, his third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian Aho!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99 The Fan. All right, everybody. It's a Friday. Just had some microphone issues turning on the phone, but I think we're good. If you can hear me, I can dive in. Happy Friday to everybody. We are, 5 days away from Carolina Panthers training camp?
Yeah.
Less than that away from ACC Media Days starting on Tuesday. We are almost to football season. We have the Open Championship going on. It's the metaphorical dead zone in the sports calendar that really hasn't existed in like a decade, because every sport is now every day of the year, and the reality television that is free agency and trades and professional sports, and I guess now college sports. Do we call it free agency?
Might as well.
Transfer portal. There really is no dead zone, but if there was, we've made it to the other side. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations for making it to the end of the week. And congratulations for making it to the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
UNC Tar Heels football. People can't get enough. We talked yesterday about how Bill Belichick's heating up on the recruiting trail. He hasn't had to heat up in the attention trail. Eyeballs follow Bill Belichick. And today it was revealed UNC football is getting a television show, a behind-the-scenes look. After all, just a different network. Hulu will be airing a UNC football behind-the-scenes show. This just a month or two after they flirted with HBO on Hard Knocks, and then that fell through in the 11th hour. There was Hulu waiting in the wings. So we will get to see something of a backstage look at how Bill Belichick is running their program. There's going to be a question that everybody's going to have. Who gets to put the content seal of approval on this one? Is this what I call state-owned propaganda, like the blueprint or the I mean, every NFL team has one, right? These like Hard Knocks, but produced by the team that they put out on YouTube. So you know you're not going to really see the full story. You're just going to see the part that paints them in a positive light. Or will there be somebody other than Bill Belichick, his girlfriend Jordan Hudson, or somebody in their media department with the final say, final cut, somebody from Hulu maybe, or a production company that could then provide us more of a two-sided look at how things are going. Because it is funny when you watch the NFL's state-owned propaganda videos, like the behind the scenes at the draft. It's unreal how every player they drafted, they just say positive things about. There's never been a person inside the facility that has ever had a single flaw with one of the players they end up drafting, even if it's a 7th-round pick, right? Because they only show us the good things. If that's the case, I'm still going to watch the Hulu deal with UNC, but I will take it with a grain of salt, and you have to judge everything appropriately. And if the other is true, if this is Hulu produced and they just get the access and they get to do with the footage what they want, then it becomes more interesting. And it's probably going to be some kind of hybrid. From my insider sources, I know a few people that have been on Hard Knocks. I believe, not 100%, but I believe the way Hard Knocks works is the team does get like veto power almost, but mostly just for verbiage and like play calls, and like you can't just be in a meeting room showing what's on the whiteboard.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what don't like, cut out the lingo, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, don't tell them that Elvis check means we're going deep. Like that kind of stuff. But other than that, it is kind of HBO's. It's their judgment on what's newsworthy and not. So we'll see. But I do think, in the era of no publicity is bad publicity, how much you have buzz, how much brand building matters, it is nothing but a good thing that darn near every network, every streaming wants to be in the Bill Belichick business. That's good for UNC, and that's good for future recruiting, and that's good for NIL deals, and that's good for all of that. Think of how many end of the bench or nearly cut HBO Hard Knocks stars has made. Right, the players that are they become the little engine that could. Well, guess what? In college, that becomes NIL money, right? When you become that star, you become that third stringer everyone roots for. Suddenly, you're at a car dealership signing autographs for money, and that's good for everybody. We'll talk more about that at 3:15, a little less than 10 minutes away. That's number one. Let's hit number two.
Number two.
Dennis, has Nic Scourton signed his contract with the Carolina Panthers yet?
One last check here. No.
Okay. So the second rounders, we talked about this a lot yesterday. The second rounders in the NFL draft are slowly seem to be signing their deals. At this time, 2 days ago, 30 of 32 were unsigned. Most of that stemming from the guys at the top of the second round getting fully guaranteed deals. All their money fully guaranteed, which doesn't technically usually happen for second rounders.
First time ever it's happened.
So now, number 33, Carson Schlesinger of the Cleveland Browns. Pick number 34, it's the second pick of the second round, Jaden Higgins of the Texans. And pick number 35, Nick Emanwari, the safety with the Seahawks. They've all received fully guaranteed deals. There is a smattering of other prospects that have signed with varying degrees of guarantees. Some as high as 91%, some essentially 2.5 out of their 4 years guaranteed. So there's different deals going on there. Nic Scourton is the 51st pick. He is important for the Carolina Panthers. As I said yesterday, I think they are depending on him. Having him signed for nearly, if not absolutely, all of their training camp is important. He's the 51st pick. The 50th pick, Elijah Arroyo, tight end for the Seahawks, is the most recent signing that I'm aware of. So we've kind of seen them go in pockets where, like, if the 57th pick signs, suddenly like the 56th, the 59th, and the 61st all kind of get a feel for the market. If that's the case, Scourton may be soon. There is, just to give you an idea of what's happening rumor-wise around the NFL, there are rumors that a bulk of the second-rounders are waiting for Tyler Shuck, the 40th overall pick to the New Orleans Saints, Louisville quarterback from last year. They're waiting for him to sign because they think he has the most leverage as a potential starting quarterback. Obviously the Saints would want him in training camp the whole time. So if the 40th pick can get a fully guaranteed deal, that does obviously wonders for everybody drafted before him and everybody drafted shortly after him. So we are all waiting a little bit for a few of the dominoes to fall. We'll let you know if the Panthers are able to ink Nic Scourton's deal, and we'll let you know what details we have as far as how much is guaranteed and everything else. That's number 2. Let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
You can listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. As we look all the way at the top, it is, who would have guessed it, Scottie Scheffler. He is 10 under par through 17 holes of his second round, and he is alone in first, although he does have some legit golfers on his tail. Matt Fitzpatrick, European golfer who has a major already in his career, looking for his second. He is in second place, just one stroke off of Scottie's pace at 9 under par. Brian Harmon, Haotong Lee are tied in third, just 2 strokes off of Scottie's pace. 8 under par. All 4 of those, or the 3 other than Scottie that I mentioned, are all done for the day in the clubhouse. So Fitzpatrick and Harmon are both major winners. Harmon's won an Open. There's some that's a good top of the leaderboard as far as entertainment goes, unless you believe that Scottie Scheffler with a lead on a weekend is just inevitable. In which case, I don't know, make plans to celebrate and watch and appreciate greatness rather than for the ultimate competitiveness. Rory had a good day, 2 under par on the day. He's now tied for 12th at 3 under par on the tournament. Justin Thomas is under par, 1 under par on the tournament. He is tied for 26th. Akshay Bhatia, guy that calls Wake Forest home, he had a good day, 3 under par, and he is in a tie for 26th with John Rahm. As I mentioned, Justin Thomas. So there's some big names there as well. I do have a couple anecdotes I would like to tell you about the tournament.
Go on.
The overnight leader, Jacob Skov Olesen. We during our updates yesterday had to mention him a bunch, right? He was essentially for the entirety of the show at least in a tie for first, and he went into the overnight from Thursday to Friday in a tie for first. And it was one of those like, oh, this guy, haven't heard of him much. He's in the mix. This is going to be exciting. The first tee today, first shot, out of bounds. Second shot, out of bounds. Ended with an 8 on the on the first hole, and I'm not doing this to make fun of Olesen, not at all. I'm simply bringing it up to let everybody know how difficult it is to keep your head in a golf major. Imagine if, like in the Super Bowl or something, or pick your favorite sport, if 1/4 of the way through, they made you go home and sleep on it. And then halfway through, they made you go home and eat a meal, and they made you listen to all of the coverage and have everybody text you and say how good you're doing and how this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And then 3/4 of the way through, they're like, yeah, go home and sleep on it again. Let's see how you sleep tonight, knowing your dreams and everything might be coming true tomorrow. It would be hilarious, right? If Nick Foles didn't get to immediately roll to the next one when he was this, backup quarterback thrust into the Super Bowl. If he had to go home, and I wonder if he'd be as calm, right? It's difficult to come back out and do it day 2. And then the second one I want to give you, second little anecdote. It's hilarious when weekend hack golfers, and I say that lovingly, get really mad when they have like a off day or when they play great one day and then not as good the next day. I shot an 82 yesterday and I shot a 97 the next day. What the heck? I mean, it's the same. Bryson DeChambeau is as technically locked in as a golfer has ever been, right? They call him the mad scientist. Round one, he shot a 78. That is for Bryce Young, for Bryson DeChambeau, that is not very good. Came back the next day, 65. 13 strokes different in the 2 rounds. You're not allowed to be upset about being maybe the not most consistent golfer. If Bryson DeChambeau, one of the 5 best golfers in the world, whatever his official world golf ranking is, that's unbelievable to go 13 strokes different. But it just shows golf is one of those things. You catch a heater, anything can change.
Got to +1, barely making the cut. That's the cut line, +1 right now. Projected cut, I should say.
With a 65, 6 under par today.
Yeah.
That just shows how bad he was yesterday and how great he was today. He and Olsen are tied at 1 over par. They were like probably 15, 16, 17 strokes different yesterday, and they're tied. That's how golf can go. That is an Open Championship update on 99.9 The Fan, teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership. That's the Big 3 at 3. UNC, as we noted, is going to be the subject of a Hulu behind-the-scenes series about their football team. I simultaneously overestimated and underestimated Bill Belichick. I'll explain coming up next.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check them out online, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's the deal, everybody. Here is the deal. There are 3 more days. That's a lie. I just had a Ron Burgundy moment. The copy I have in front of me is from 3 days ago. You do not have 3 days. You have darn near 30 minutes to get in a text of beef to 919-860-5326 to potentially win your weight in meat. I can't emphasize the urgency enough. Keyword beef, B-E-E-F. Text it to 919-860-5326. Now, I've been telling you, because we've been doing this for 2 weeks now, well, you have time, right? There'll always be another. We have to register 6 more, 4 more, 3 more finalists. None of that. Urgency maximum. 1 more finalist to register today at 4. So we're talking, again, like I said, a little over a half hour from now. This is not a, hey, if you remember tonight, text in beef. This is right now. Text in beef to 919-860-5326. Even if you've already done it, if you've texted in the past, do it again today to make sure you get the maximum number of entries. At 4 o'clock, we will randomly select one of you. That will be our 10th and final finalist in our Win Your Weight in Meat competition. And then one of those 10 finalists will be randomly selected on Monday, and we will call them, and they will win their weight in meat. If you don't win and you don't text in beef right now, don't come crying to me. Even if you do text in beef, don't come crying to me, but at least you can, advance with no regrets because you did everything you could do. Text beef right now to 919-860-5326. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sell pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers. The entire contest brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Maybe in the new Hulu show that is scheduled to come out for UNC football, you know how those behind-the-scenes shows, they always do like the interviews while they're doing something, right? You get like Bill Belichick at home. He's on the grill answering questions about, growing up, and my dad was a coach and he was a Maybe we'll get that. We'll get to see what kind of a cut of steak Bill Belichick likes. UNC football, burying the lead there, is getting a TV show after all. Hulu will be producing a behind-the-scenes show of UNC football, which obviously will include Bill Belichick and Steve Belichick and Freddie Kitchens and the coaching staff and Lombardi and the front office as well as the players. It'll be a behind-the-scenes deal. I thought the ship had sailed on this particular kind of style of show because Hard Knocks got all the way to the 1 yard line on producing HBO Hard Knocks on producing a show about UNC, and it fell through. But I think I have simultaneously overestimated and underestimated the Bill Belichick effect on North Carolina. I thought, right, the maybe overestimation was that recruits would immediately jump at the opportunity to play for Belichick, and as soon as his name was announced and he signed on the dotted line, that they would just get a bunch of transfers that want to go play pro and want to have those connections. It's been a slow burn. The recruiting's picking up now, as we talked about yesterday, but that's been a slow burn. Overestimated it a little bit.
The transfer portals really, really hit. But again, in terms of the actual incoming freshmen,
they hit with huge volume, but even that, no 5-stars in the transfer portal.
Sure.
None of the top first-round picks projected next year in the transfer portal. But then where I've underestimated Bill Belichick is in the attention-drawing category. Right? I knew that there would be a lot more eyes on Belichick when he signed. It has been a whole different level of scrutiny than I expected. From his personal life, obviously, to award-winning journalists dedicating darn near entire seasons of their podcast to just breaking down every decision the guy has made, to him getting a 2-minute section of the ESPYs just dedicated to jokes about him and his personal life, to Lawrence Taylor showing up at events, to him being like everything he does is over and over and over scrutinized. So even when a huge opportunity, which I consider like these partnerships where there are behind the scenes shows, a massive opportunity for you to build your program's brand and your players to build their personal brands, even when a huge opportunity falls through, like HBO Hard Knocks, where my reaction is, man, that's a bummer. I underestimated it because there's always a similar opportunity right around the corner when your name's Bill Belichick. Right? He can turn down opportunities with more like willy-nilliness, if that's the term, like nonchalance than other programs because he knows we can, if we don't take this one, we'll take the next one. HBO Hard Knocks falls through. There's Hulu waiting in the on-deck circle. Emails obtained by WRAL. Shout out to Brian Murphy, the article I'm reading from at the moment. WRAL sports fan. He's a sports investigative reporter, friend of the show. Emails obtained by WRAL showed just how close the agreement on HBO Hard Knocks was to being announced by the school before it was ultimately ended. Jordan Hudson reportedly wanted, quote, content approval and partial ownership. That's the fascinating part of the Hulu deal. If that is in fact, right, and the emails that WRAL and Freedom of Information Act and all that stuff with Jordan Hudson were revealed, if that is truly the reason why HBO couldn't get it over into the end zone for Hard Knocks and UNC to be a partnership, does that mean Hulu caved on those demands? Or does that mean UNC and Belichick and whoever's in his inner circle didn't make those demands for Hulu, maybe after seeing the fallout of the HBO? We don't know, but that's why I brought up at the start of the show the question of, is this state-owned propaganda, right? Is this Jordan Hudson and or Belichick and or UNC has content approval and partial ownership, in which case we're only going to get the good? Or is this Hulu agreeing? I mean, I'm sure they're not allowed to just like trash, like with certain concessions. Does Hulu have the ability to make the most exciting and fully fleshed out behind the scenes look at UNC football? I think we'd all want the latter, but we'll settle for the former. Because I agree, like you want guardrails, right? You don't want to. It's actually one of the like most tried and true tropes in media, right? You open up your life, you give an honest interview, and you think a reporter is there to tell a story that puts you in a glowing light. Then you go ahead and read the article or something, and it's just completely trashing you, and you're like, wait a second, that's not cool. So you want to protect yourself against that, but I mean, I don't know if you can have ownership, but like. Or I'll put it this way. This is a different way to put it. There's all these music biopics coming out. There was the Freddie Mercury one. There was a James
Elton John one.
There was an Elton John. There was a late great Chadwick Boseman into James Brown. I'm always checking to see like who the executive producers are, because if they have the same last name as the subject, I'm like, oh, we're not getting the real story here, are we? Right? It's like, oh, are they going to, and I'm not saying this about any of the musicians we just mentioned because I don't know their histories enough, but it's like, oh, my guess is we're not going to get the story behind those, domestic violence issues in the 70s, right? When in order to use the music from the artist in the movie, they had to give final cut to the actual artist or their kids or something like that. Like, we're not getting the true story. UNC football, if you got to get the true story, they can't have like the ultimate final say and final cut. But then if I'm UNC football, I'm trying to use Wedding Crashers rule number 6. Draw attention to yourself, but on your own terms, right? Like you don't want to just point a spotlight on the skeletons in your closet, which, by the way, would get the most views for Hulu. So I'm just playing both sides of the fence here. If I'm Hulu, do you know what gets you the most watched documentary series you can possibly get?
What's that?
All the juicy details between Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. And you interview all the family about how they think about it, and you interview all the friends and all the players, and you don't ask them about what's it like to change your defensive scheme or how excited are you to be in the ACC. You ask them, does Coach talk about his girlfriend much? Like, that's the stuff that's going to get the tabloids. That's the stuff that's going to get the crossover appeal. Suddenly you're going to have not only sports fans, but also reality television fans. You're going to have everybody else watching. But if you're UNC, you probably do want to keep it to the football and promote the players because that's the stuff that benefits your program more. There's a few interesting, I don't want to call them conflicts of interest, but like interesting parts of interest. Hulu is owned by Disney, which also owns ESPN. ESPN owns the right to broadcast ACC football games. They, meaning the media rights deal for the ACC, is very much banking on UNC and Bill Belichick being a massive draw towards the primetime games that they feature the Tar Heels. So this is a bit of using one arm of your business to promote what is absolutely necessary to be successful for a different, perhaps more important arm of your business. And like this kind of again, not full conflict of interest, but maybe, is the reason why when I talk about high school OT, or when we brag on a friend of the show, Chris Lee from WRAL, or Brian Murphy from WRAL, I try to do my best to always point out our companies are all owned by Capital Broadcasting Company, right? They're our colleagues, because that, radio promoting the TV all under the same umbrella, I want you to know what you're dealing with. Hulu promoting UNC football, who is a massive part of the ESPN football schedule this upcoming fall, I can see why they would want to put the best foot forward, or at least the most entertaining foot forward of UNC. But before you go too far down that path, ESPN is also the network that puts on the ESPYs and has approval of jokes and everything in monologues. And Shane Gillis, the host, in his monologue on Wednesday, cracked a whole bunch of jokes at the expense of Bill Belichick. So they're obviously not above it, not above using that to draw eyeballs. It is a very, very interesting way moving forward, and there's only one way we're going to know what type of documentary it ends up being. Watch. And by the way, I have no connection to Hulu, so I'm watching, and I'm not necessarily recommending you do, or this is the no conflict of interest here, just somebody that's interested in triangle football in the college level. I also want to see, like, Gio Lopez and Bryce Baker and see how the quarterbacks are performing. What's Max Johnson's leg looking like? How are they going to replace Omarion Hampton? I don't know if everybody else is as excited for that stuff as I am, but that's where my head goes first. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm sure we'll talk about it as it happens here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I'm sure we'll also talk about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I have right here in front of me the Fox and Bailey Gazette, a periodical they put out all about the timepieces that they feature in their store. And not just the pre-owned and vintage Rolex or the Omegas, but everything, including some really, really cool kind of independent, I guess that's the independent watchmakers, I guess would be the way to put it. But we're talking about the Nomos Glashütte, the Norcanes, which we talk about on this show quite a bit. There is a wide variety of timepieces available at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. And I emphasize that just because as awesome as Rolex are, and pre-owned and vintage Rolex are sweet, and they make you feel powerful, I understand that there's a different watch out there for everybody, right? It is definitely not a one-size-fits-all. It says something about your personality. It says something about what you value. So you don't want to just promote the big old brands that everybody's really excited about and are more traditionally pumped up about. You also want to promote maybe a Norcane. Maybe there's somebody out there that wants a little bit more color in their dial, maybe a fluorescent color that isn't traditionally put on a watch, and Norcane does some of that. Nomos, with their very big faces and maybe a little bit more simple on the dial, may say something else about your personality. The only way I can tell you to make sure you get the right watch is to go to Fox and Bailey at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District of Raleigh and try them all on and talk to the experts that'll help you out and see which one feels right. Right? Sometimes the watch will pick you, and it might be an independent, might be a smaller brand, or it might be, a Rolex GMT or a Rolex Daytona or an Omega Speedmaster, some of the more well-known icons of the industry. Either way, when you stop out, make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim. The Dean's List is coming up next. Bill Belichick is on it, but for a reason that we haven't mentioned yet. Couldn't be more different than the reason the reasons that we've mentioned. Find out why coming up next.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Black isn't just a color. It's the presence of infinite possibilities. It's the moment before everything changes. An invitation to something unforgettable.
I won.
Win up to $4 million with Carolina Black Premier from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. $25 to text in beef. I'm going to keep reminding you. 919-860-5326 is the number. Beef is the key word. We will qualify our last contestant at 4 o'clock today to potentially win their weight in meat. But you have to text in beef to 919. Beef to 919-860-5326. Even if you've done so already, if you did so a previous day, if you did so last week, you have had entries in every drawing since you've texted in beef, but you can get one more. You can get one more if you texted it in the next 25 minutes. Beef to 919-860-5326. Need ya. Won't ya? And we're doing it for you, by the way. You're the one that's going to win your weight in meat. Although if you text in the next 25 minutes and you win your weight in meat, you could throw a couple steaks my way. Just know, like, my little last urgent warning here did potentially get you over the finish line. If it happens, you know, a couple New York strips never hurt nobody. Especially if you're you know, some of the contestants we've had are pushing, you know, 250, $3 of weight. If you could spare a couple steaks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The entire contest brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Right now, let's go ahead and fire up the Dean's List, put class in session. This is where we highlight those in the college sports world, either directly or indirectly, with a little bit of extra praise necessary. I did tease that Bill Belichick is on the list, and he's not alone. It's him and Dave Doran combined. Why? Brett McMurphy covers college football, covers college sports at a national level. Compile the list. The list is head coaches, college football,
okay,
and their USGA golf handicap index.
Okay.
Dave Doran's an 11-3. Bill Belichick's a 12-5. That's not bad for guys that have a pretty demanding regular, day job, if you will. I don't know how much I believe all of these. Trent Dilfer, by the way, a 0.7. That's legit. Tulsa's coach is a plus 1.3, which is bananas. But Belichick, if he's 73, 74 years old out there pushing a 12.5, yeah, these guys can make their way around a course at a reasonable rate.
Shout out to those guys.
The crazy part is, you'd think that's kind of like a retirement hobby, but Bill Belichick's in his 70s still coaching, so, maybe won't have the same retirement experience like the rest of us.
Maybe not. By the way, real quick, you mentioned NC State there, mm-hmm. Dave Doran. Jared in our YouTube live chat actually just asked the question, Wolfpack over under 7.5 wins.
Ooh, so
on the spot.
You've upped it.
That's what Jared said.
The sports books I've seen have been 6.5. I'll take the over. I think
8 sounds right.
I think if you look at their schedule, you're going to have to take care of business against the ECUs. You're going to have to do that. Like
gotta beat Virginia.
There are certain teams that you just have to beat, and if you take care of business against the teams you should beat, I think you're fine there. I'm starting to see the CJ Bailey hype get cranked up a little bit. I believe it was an Athletic article of quarterbacks that could break out this year, and he was number 1. Like that's countrywide, by the way. So there's some people that are starting to buy in a bit to the Wolfpack. I would likely take the over there. And Dave Doran, 11-3 as his golf index. He's not spending too much time. He's not like a 4, you know what I mean? So he's out there, when he needs to be, but not too much. He's not, taken away from his day job. More Dean's List. I failed. I'll put my hand up on this one. Lee Corso's on the Dean's List. We didn't mention the honor at the ESPYs yesterday, and we probably should have. He's a part of the one of the voices of college sports with game day and everything, and he's going to do week 1 this year and then be done. Retiring. They had the headgear, they had the mascots, they had the whole thing at the ESPYs to honor him. I just like when people get to be served their flowers and appreciate it. So we'll give some flowers here to Lee Corso.
Lee Corso is kind of like the college football version of Dick Vitale.
Yes.
In terms of that name, that voice is synonymous with that sport. And I think with what we know college game day to be, Lee Corso helped build that again with the whole mascot heads and everything. And all of a sudden it became okay, what mascot head is he going to put on today? Or like he swerves the fans, like he grabs one, like, nah, get that out of here, and puts on the other one. Those kinds of things. It made the experience fun for everybody and something that everyone wanted to be part of.
And again, we don't always have the opportunities to let people know what Dennis just said, right? Like kind of their role that they played in our Saturdays for so long, because, business relationships end sometimes rockier and they don't get their farewell tour or whatever. So shout out to Lee Corso. ESPYs did a really good job honoring him. We'll cut the Dean's List a little short today. There's always Monday. Do the Dean's List every day about that time. So class dismissed. Partially because we need to have time to talk about Manor Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. And actually, that's a perfect intro, right? I like to make sure we praise those that are often taken for granted. And an excellent company like Manor Service Company is one of those. And the reason being is they work on your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. And when those things in your house are working smoothly, you really don't think about it that much, right? You completely take it for granted. When one of those things breaks, you're like, oh no, panic. I need Manor Service Company. Get them here. They show up, friendly, great customer service, highly skilled technicians. They diagnose the problem quickly, fix it. They get the parts in. It's all there, all very, very comforting of an experience. And then guess what happens? They leave your cooling system's fixed or your plumbing's situated and there's no more issues. And like 12 hours later, you're back to completely taking it for granted and not thinking about it, right? Just flushing the toilet and moving on, or lowering the thermostat and moving on without even thinking about it. It truly is one of those situations. And it's why I'm always emphasizing bookmarking the phone, saving it into your contacts, the phone number for Manor Service Company. Because, when things are going well, I don't need the number. No, I'm good. Everything's working. Until something goes wrong and you desperately need it, and you're going to wish you had Manor Service Company's number. So one more time, I'll let you know. Right now, while everything's going well, save the number. So when it doesn't, you're prepared. The number is 919-361-0993, and you can use that number 24/7. They service the entire triangle, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or their website, ManorServices.com, MAYNOR services.com. Who are the biggest, as we get ready for ACC Media Day next week, who are the biggest NFL prospects looking to make their closing statements on draft stock this college football season from the schools right here in North Carolina? We give you a preview next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a go-see. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious.
Mountain Dew!
Do the do.
Hurry into Family Fare and get 2 20-ounce bottles of ice-cold Mountain Dew for just $4.29. Family Fare, first in thirst.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
New to the area? Let me be the first to welcome you. I'm Marcy Bailey of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We've been family owned and part of North Carolina since 1948. We have a tradition of being voted the best jewelry store with an unparalleled selection of designer jewelry, fine diamonds, engagement rings, watches, and gifts to commemorate all your special occasions. We look forward to sharing our award-winning service and stunning jewels with you. Visit us today in store or at baileybox.com to see why every woman wants a Bailey box.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. 15 minutes. Text in beef to 919-860-5326. It just might win you your weight in meat. You don't get that opportunity very often. Text in beef to 919-860-5326, and you could be eating good for a while.
For real.
But you have to text it in the next 15 minutes to maximize your chances, because at 4 o'clock, Dennis will call one of those texters randomly, and if they pick up or if they call us back within 5 minutes of us calling, they will be our final finalist, our 10th finalist in our Win Your Weight in Meat competition. But if you don't text in beef right now, keyword beef to 919-860-5326.
And have your phone next to you, please.
It'd be wild to text it in right now and then throw your phone across the room and forget it's there.
Right.
We're going to call you back, or we're going to call one of you at 4 o'clock. And if you don't hear it and you don't call us back, there's nothing we can do for you. We'll feel bad, but there's nothing we can do for you. All of that brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Now, who is this year's NFL stud playing college football in our state, here in North Carolina? The reason why I ask is we're starting to do some prep for ACC Kickoff ACC Media Day next week. Wednesday and Thursday, by the way, our show will be live from Charlotte, and we'll be talking with coaches and players. And we're starting to line up some of the coaches and players we're going to talk to. And I don't know if we're going to put out names or what, but I can tell you this, I'm excited. So I think you should be as well.
Yeah, we can throw out a couple. We've already scheduled Dave Doran at least, Manny Diaz, Darian Mensah. We're going to talk to Cade Klubnik from Clemson.
We do our best to get as many of the local guys as possible, and then we sprinkle in like the Cade Klubniks and the top kind of NFL or top performers expected across the conference. So we're looking forward to it, and that's just a small sample of all of the people we'll be talking with in Charlotte. But in prep, I brought up kind of my notes from last year, my notes from this year. I don't know where the NFL guys are going to come as obviously as last year. Last year, right, we talked to Omarion Hampton of UNC, and I was very confident going into the season he would be one of the top running backs off the board. I wasn't sure he was going to be a first rounder, but I was very confident he'd be drafted. Anthony Belton, offensive lineman from State, who went in the second round. Again, I wasn't sure where, but I was pretty confident he was a day 1 or day 2 pick. Casey Concepcion, ironically for NC State, was a guy that the NFL has been very high on. He ended up transferring out of state, but there were certain headliners. Even if you look outside the ACC, a player like Siobhan Revel was the corner for ECU. He was already being bounced around. Don't tell anybody, but there's this guy with super long wingspan and unbelievable speed at ECU that could potentially be a first rounder. Ended up getting hurt, drafted in the 3rd. But those things were already kind of bubbling to the surface. This year, while I think there are very good players in the ACC, and I think there are players that could play their way into the top of the draft from the schools here in North Carolina, there aren't as many bubbling rumors. There aren't as many obvious risers out there. And I was actually surprised by a couple of them. So I started doing the research, right? Because I know who I think are going to be the good players in the state of North Carolina. And I go to all of the NFL mock draft database and the tankathons and the big boards, right, all across, looking for where kind of the experts have them set on way too early 2026 draft boards. And I'll tell you right now, I think there's some disrespect happening. Somebody like Chandler Rivers, the cornerback for Duke, is listed when you talk about college defensive backs near the top of most lists, right? He's somebody that is well respected. I don't think he's going under the radar at all. I believe first team all ACC preseason, at least from Phil Steele, and we'll see where he comes in on all the other preseason lists.
Super high rated on College Football 26.
He is. I mean, if you ask a 13-year-old, that's the only thing that matters. He is the 14th highest rated player at any position in College Football 26 on their initial rankings. The highest I could find him projected anywhere is kind of late 2nd round. You're looking at pick 60 or 60th on your big board, granted at a position of high premium, so maybe he goes a little bit higher if he's 60th on a big board. But that was surprising. Somebody like Brian Parker, who's an offensive tackle for Duke, again, very highly thought of at the college football level, has NFL size, but he's a redshirt junior, and nobody's even entertaining the idea that maybe he would declare early and not play his redshirt senior year for Duke next year. Even though, if you're that good of an offensive tackle, even if you're just mostly traits and potential, the NFL is going to come calling. So they're not even entertaining that fact. The only draft stuff I could find on him was for the 2027 NFL draft, and that was basically just writing his name and no details. And it continued, right? Because guys that I know, and then I say I know, have NFL qualities, right? There's no way to know if they're a complete NFL player, but they have traits that are going to make the NFL pay attention. Players like Justin Jolie, tight end from NC State. Players like Damon Claiborne, running back from Wake Forest. They're not even getting a ton of love, right? Because, admittedly, actually not including this past year, tight ends are rarely, pushed up draft boards. Although Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren were both top 14 picks this year, so yeah, maybe that's changing. But Justin Jolie, tight end's not a position of premium, so I could see Justin Jolie not being, a projected day 1 or day 2 maybe, but he's really getting no love. And I watch his play and go, all right, he's an NFL pass catcher at tight end. Maybe he's got to work on the physicality and the blocking or put on some weight. Maybe that's it. But if you have an NFL trait, how are you not going into the year on any list? Damon Claiborne, this is not an exaggeration. I am not saying this hyperbolically. I'm not saying he runs 1,000,000 miles an hour. He was, by GPS tracking done by Real Analytics, the fastest player in college football last year. His miles per hour speed on a GPS on a kickoff return was the fastest speed reached by any player in college football. He's a running back for Wake. Now, I have never met a talent evaluator that hasn't said, if somebody's exceptionally fast, I'm going to check it out. Now, I will say they've seen guys and gone, oh, he's just track speed, right? I've seen guys who, once you evaluate them, go, yeah, you know what? Maybe they don't have it. They're just fast. I get that. But you have a full football season to check it out, and he's not even on many lists. There was one, Dane Brugler on The Athletic did have Claiborne on his running back list. But I'm telling you, there weren't many mentions of Claiborne. Getting no love, but I don't see how he doesn't, especially when you look at what the NFL is doing. Right? The NFL's copycat league, and a couple years ago, you may have heard of him, Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted in the first round by the Lions, and as a complimentary speed back to a bigger bruiser in David Montgomery, he's become a superstar. And somebody like Travion Henderson out of Ohio State got drafted right at the top of the second round this past year, and he is going to be kind of that complimentary speed back. You don't have to have them on the field every play for them to have major impact because they're home run hitters. Claiborne is in that mold. I'm not saying he's in that stratosphere of talent, but he's in that mold, and if that's what the NFL wants, I'm going to be paying attention. So right now, like if the draft were today and you're listening to the quote-unquote experts, and I mean, we all know that doesn't always mean they're the most accurate. But if you listen to the experts, there wouldn't be a ton of guys from our state drafted into definitely the first two days of the NFL draft, but potentially in the draft at all. I'm looking at that, and somebody like Thaddeus Dixon, cornerback for UNC, also mentioned kind of third, fourth round pick at the earliest. I think there's options there. I think there's players that will have to play their way into it, but I think they will play their way into higher draft prospects by the time the draft comes around. I guess if there is a weird silver lining, nobody's going to be, tempted to sit out games to protect their draft stock if they get hurt or something. Like, these guys should all be, if they're interested in, building up their future as professional football players, they should be pedal to the floor all out, right?
Well, we should ask Claiborne about that. We're going to talk to him on Wednesday.
Boom! That's what we call a tease, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. We'll talk to as many of the NFL draft guys as we possibly can. Claiborne. Should we like lightning round the whole interview? He's the fastest guy in the country.
We should.
Go!
Like 60 seconds. Boom. Go.
Question. We'll see. I don't know if he gets interviewed as fast as he returns kicks, but
we should do that. Hey, one-word answer. Boom.
We'll see. See, now we're spitballing. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll end it that way with like 3 minutes of lightning round.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody loves a lightning round, right?
Who doesn't?
Fast money at the end of Family Feud. It's the best part. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of football, let's go to the professional ranks. When we come back, there's football at 4. Who's under the most pressure on the Panthers? And text in beef, 919-860-5326. Literal minutes, seconds even, for you to text in beef to 919-860-5326 and potentially win your weight in meat. We'll call our 10th and final finalist during this break. So text it in right now, beef to 919-860-5326. We'll qualify a finalist and football at 4 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank and a member FDIC.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Highs this afternoon in the mid to upper 90s with a heat advisory in place for heat index values up to 107 degrees. Scattered showers and storms could bring some localized flooding and the threat for damaging wind gusts.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 152 points to 44,332.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The theme of this segment, just like the collaboration between Freddie Mercury and David Bowie from decades ago, under pressure. That is the theme of the segment, because there's the pressure to answer the phone when we call, when we are trying to qualify our finalist for the Win Your Weight and Meat competition, right? When Dennis calls, there's pressure. You better answer your phone or else you might miss out on the opportunity. But also, we are going to answer one of the ultimate right before training camp questions that exist in the NFL, which is, who is under the most pressure? What player is under the most pressure on fill-in-the-blank team? For obvious reasons, for us, it's the Panthers. Dennis, did our caller answer?
I left a voicemail.
Okay.
They have 5 minutes to call back.
So the pressure is on. You have 5 minutes. Check your phone if you texted in beef to 919-860-5326.
But if that person does not call back in time, I'm calling the next person.
That's the pressure. You can miss your opportunity.
You really can.
How much of a bummer would it be 10 months from now to check your phone and see a missed call and a message from Dennis saying, you might have just qualified to be a finalist to Win Your Weight in Meat.
Yep.
You have 5 minutes to call us back, and you look at your phone, and it's 12 minutes later. That's the pressure you're under. Now let's talk pressure for the Panthers.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did.
Football at 4, the question is, who is under the most pressure on the Carolina Panthers? Now, we will quickly address the obvious one, Bryce Young. Quite frankly, unless you are a MVP and Super Bowl winner, so unless you're Pat Mahomes, I guess, you could argue for every team the quarterback is the one under the most pressure on the team, because that's the nature of the position. So much rises and falls with you. And we judge so harshly on a what have you done for me lately kind of deal with the position. So Bryce Young's no different. You add on top of that your third year offseason, so the offseason like a year from now, that he'll be going through is when decisions are made on fifth-year options and you can get long-term contracts and all those things. Bryce Young is under a ton of pressure this year, but that's the life of being a quarterback in the NFL. So that's number one. There you go. Anything else you'd like to add on that, Dennis? Bryce Young under pressure. There you go, right?
Done. Beautiful.
Number 2. Ironically, his job, the thing he's pressured to do, is to prevent pressure from getting on Bryce Young. Ike Ekwonu. Because more and more, there's the positions that are haves and have-nots. And what I mean is financially. If you're going to be a long-term tackle in the NFL, you're going to make $23, $25, $27, $28 million a year. And if you set a new market deal, maybe $30. So your pass-fail becomes very, very different as far as if you keep that job or not. Because if you're a starting tackle and you're expecting a long-term deal, you want long-term starting tackle money. You want big cash, which means you better be worth it to your team. So Ike Ekwonu can't just be the left tackle, by the way, for the Panthers, drafted out of NC State, top 10 pick 3 or 4 years ago. He can't just be good enough. Right? He can't just be, well, he's a really good run blocker and his pass blocking leaves some to be desired. Like, this is the year you put it together. This is the year it's obvious you're not just the guy that you drafted that played a little bit. You're the next 10 years of football in Carolina is Bryce Young dropping back with his blind side protected by Ike Ekwonu. There was a time not that long ago when, you could get another 3-year look, right? You're going to play off your rookie contract, and then they give you like 3 years, $30 million, 2 years guaranteed as a left tackle, and they figure it out. Like, all right, we're just going to kick this can down the road. That really doesn't exist anymore. So your pass-fail is, are you worth $30 million a year, roughly, a little bit less, or not? And Icky, by the way, what I described is kind of the question being asked. Can he pass block at a high enough level? Because many have noted that he is a talented enough run blocker. He is a mauler. When he gets his weight moving forward and his momentum moving forward, he is very difficult to stop. His athleticism, it's there. Has to do a better job pass protecting. And if he does that, then the answer becomes yes. If he does that consistently for a season, not just in spurts, the answer becomes yes. So that is a very, very kind of wide range of outcomes for Ike Ekwonu, right? You play well enough, you could be generational wealth guaranteeing. If you don't, your future with Carolina becomes kind of up in the air. That is a wide range, and that's why the pressure is so darn high on him. I have 3 more names in order. So Bryce number 1, Ike Ekwonu number 2. I have a third most pressure, and then a tie for 4th between 2 names. However, I do see Dennis Cox on the phone. So the pressure may have gotten to our Win Your Weight and Meat potential final finalist. I keep saying final finalist. That sounds ridiculous. Ultimate finalist? I don't know what to call. Either way, if he brings that caller onto the air, we will ask a quick question, and that person will be our final finalist for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. I'm getting the nod. Who do we have on the line, Dennis?
We have David from Raleigh, who called back with a minute to spare.
A minute would have been a hilarious buzzer beater if somebody was sitting there waiting for 45. Now I'll call back. Dave in Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. All you have to do to solidify your spot as a finalist is let us know how much you weigh. What are we working with?
Well, unfortunately, it's only 170.
You don't have to apologize to us for your weight. We don't judge, but you are locked in. 170 pounds for Dave in Raleigh. You are one of our finalists. Now, the only thing you have to do, and you kind of flirted with disaster here by taking 4 minutes to call us back. On Monday at 4 o'clock, have your phone on. Make sure you answer if we call because you have a 10% chance at winning your weight and meat.
Right on.
All right. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the last bit of information he needs to make sure you are eligible. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. 10 finalists in our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. I believe, if I'm just going off memory here, we are ranging in weights from 155 to 297. Somebody will win their weight and meat. Regardless, it's a pretty awesome prize. By the way, the winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers, and the entire contest brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Almost lost his chance there, but he came through in the clutch. Little 2-minute drill, right? Had to score points. Needed at least a field goal and got it. Speaking of pressure, that didn't work as well that time. Football at 4, the question was, who's under the most pressure for the Panthers? We've already decided Bryce number 1, Ike Ekwonu number 2. Number 3, Chuba Hubbard. With great money comes great responsibility. There's that level of it, right? And he received the extension last year right around the game in Germany. He was a huge part of the offense, so much so that they kind of shut him down the last 2 games. Right, was dealing with some nagging injuries and basically wanted to protect one of their engines that'll be driving the next year. He's a really big part of the offense. So there is pressure in just that, meaning when Dave Canales' offensive scheme is working best, the running back is cranking out first downs and getting a lot of touches and reading, blocking well and catching out of the backfield and pass protecting. Like, it's just a large responsibility to be the starting running back inside a Dave Canales offense. You pair that with his financial situation, which is, what was it, a $33 million deal overall? If you're including, like, obviously not just guarantees or anything. I think it's pretty good deal, pretty good sized deal for a running back.
Yeah, 4-year, 33.2, 16.4 million guaranteed.
There is a built-in out from a salary cap standpoint after this upcoming year. The Panthers can cut him next offseason, so after this upcoming season, and have only $4.5 million in dead cap. Now that's a good chunk of change, but it's not unfathomable, right? It's not completely outside the realm of possibilities if he doesn't have a great season that they would choose to move on from him. So there is a little element of, like, you have to play well enough for them to keep you around. I think everybody likes Chuba Hubbard. I think culturally they are big fans of Chuba Hubbard, but it is a production-based business, and you have to go out there and back up all of the positive comments people have given you in order to keep your spot, especially because, really good running backs are found kind of in the scrap heap every year in the NFL. Fifth rounder becomes Bucky Irving or whatever, or fourth rounder becomes Tyrone Tracy. So when your replacement is potentially cheap, you really have to make it worth their while to keep you around. And then the last 2 I have, this is a tie for 4th. Bryce Young, most pressure. Ike Ekwonu next. Chuba Hubbard, 3rd. All on the offensive side of the ball. I thought that was interesting. Unintentional. Tied for 4th, I'm putting 2 defensive players. Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson. And it's almost like the exact opposite reason why, like, a Bryce Young is under so much pressure, right? Bryce Young, as the number 1 pick, wants to live up to his draft status, and there's pressure there. Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson, I mean, that's a 5th rounder and an undrafted guy. So they're not trying to live up to their lofty investment. They're trying to make the people that are betting on them look smart, right? Because we're still, at least I am, and Dennis, you can agree or disagree with this, I'm still surprised how big it seems Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson's role in the secondary will be this upcoming year without much of a safety net, right? They're kind of penciled in to play a lot, and it's not like, these young guys are, in the starting lineup, but they have veterans, but backing them up in case things go haywire. They can jump in and kind of steady the ship. Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson, I think, are going to be in the game a lot, and like I said, there's no real safety net. If that works, Dan Morgan looks like a genius. Dave Canales becomes like or Evero, whoever gets credit for the coaching on defense, looks like a guru. If it doesn't work, you're going to have a lot of people going, well, what'd you expect? It's an undrafted and a 5th-round second-year player. You didn't think to have somebody in case that didn't work out? And the pressure comes from when people, like, take a chance on you. You want to honor that chance. You want to show them that they were right in valuing you or in giving you that opportunity. And then add on the fact that, I always say first-round picks have 9 lives. Mm-hmm. What's the opposite of that, right? Like 5th-round picks and undrafted, they get 1 life. If you get an opportunity to play a huge amount of snaps, to play a large portion of the game on defense, and you don't take advantage of it, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to get that chance again in the NFL, right? Then you turn into, all right, let me go find a place where I can catch on as a special teamer, and hopefully an opportunity down the road allows me a second chance, but that's not guaranteed. So, if you're a first rounder, you flame out somewhere, somebody else is going to pick you up, and they're going to give you a couple snaps, and you're going to have more chances to prove yourself, and there will be somebody out there saying, I can fix you. Look around the NFL. It happens all the time. It doesn't happen as much with 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 7th rounders. If you don't take advantage of your opportunity, there's no guarantee it ever comes again, which does heighten your pressure on yourself individually going into a season.
Yeah, I remember at mandatory minicamp last month, I mean, Damani Richardson was running with the first-team defense as the free safety. And then Shaw Smith-Wade as the nickel, which I think Shaw Smith-Wade was kind of brought in to eventually become that role. And like you said, if those guys turn into the quality starters in their role, you hit home runs. Like you said, Shaw Smith-Wade, 5th-round pick. Damani Richardson, undrafted free agent. Hey, you hit on a couple along with Jalen Coker. Hey, you found the diamonds in the rough. Good job. But like you said, also it's a boom or bust situation where if the secondary, if those guys can't cover, it's like, well, yeah, what'd you expect? They're second-year guys. One's a 5th-round pick and one's an undrafted free agent. What'd you expect?
And not to mention the financial aspects of it. If you like, they're on 5th round and undrafted rookie deals, right? They are cheap as dirt by NFL standards. Very highly paid for fresh out of college and any other standards.
Yes.
But they're cheap from salary cap perspective and everything. So if they hit, that allows you to spend more on other positions and increase the level of talent on your roster. But it's a chance taken by everybody involved, and the pressure is to make it a good chance and not a bad risk.
And those guys have been getting a lot of rave reviews. Those two guys we just talked about, a lot of rave reviews from not only us, people that went down and covered the mini camp and stuff, but even for the coaches as well. Like and even other players about how those guys have leveled up from last year to this year. Those guys late in the season got a lot of snaps. They really did because of injuries and otherwise. But that experience helped. It mattered. And guess what? Those games you're playing weren't super high stakes, and you got the chance to make some mistakes.
It's also kind of what we talked about with the Open Championship going on, where like it's the only sport where after the first quarter, if you're playing well, you have to go home and think about it for a night and sleep and wake up and do it all over again. Both of those guys, I assume, and I've never been on an NFL roster, I assume their heads were spinning a bit last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right? From practice squad, and all of a sudden you're out there and, oh, look, now you're guarding Mike Evans or whoever it is, like future Hall of Famers. What is going on here? You're on that treadmill set to 100, just trying to keep up. This year, the positive is you're getting a ton of reps in OTAs and mini camps with the starters, and right, you're not going to be as, quite frankly, unprepared, but at the same time, you have time to think about everything and what's on the line and this opportunity and the pressure and everything else we're talking about. So there's gifts and curse to both of them. But those are my 5. It's really 4, but then I did a 4A and 4B. Those are my 5. Bryce Young, Ike Ekwonu, Chuba Hubbard, and then the young defensive backs, Shaw Smith-Wade and Damani Richardson, as most pressure on their shoulders heading into training camp, which starts on Wednesday in earnest. Rookies on Monday. For the Carolina Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox, in my notes, it says you have something to tell the people.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. A week ago, I was actually in Yosemite National Park out in California, and my girlfriend and I, we were just riding up around through the mountains, driving around, and just really enjoying the scenery, and I saw some people riding through on their motorcycles, and I got super jealous because I thought about, man, if I had my motorcycle here, I'd be going up and down these curves, up and down these mountains, just enjoying my time. But there's always a danger in that situation because, unfortunately, people are out there rubbernecking, checking out the scenery, might not be fully paying attention to the road, and unfortunately, you might be involved in an accident where you were not at fault. And that's where you have to give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS if you are in a motorcycle accident. The wonderful thing about Law Tigers attorneys is that they're part of that motorcycle riding community. They know what the value of your bike and your gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the risks that are out there on the road and what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't owe them a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, has the Ladder Challenge coming up. And speaking of the Carolina Panthers, training camp coming up, what does the NFC South look like? They're a punchline and have been for the last couple of years as a division. Is that still true? Who should the Panthers be chasing? Who should they be worried about? Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody in Duke's starting five that made the Final Four got drafted. 3 of them in the top 10. Cooper Flagg 1, Con Knipple 4, Kamon Malawach went 10. Sion James and Tyrese Proctor also drafted. And I keep hearing, how did they not win the title? How did they not even make it to Monday night? Carolina had Jamison and Carter and didn't make it to the championship game 2 years in a row. It's sports.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink, so overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll ask one more time, and we'll ask more times throughout the show. Nic Scourton, has he signed? Second round pick of the Carolina Panthers?
He is not.
All right. Has until Monday when rookies report to not miss anything, but until he signs, he is actually not allowed to participate in anything from this point forward, so we'll keep you updated.
Wednesday is when they practice.
And that's when veterans show up as well.
Yeah, veterans show up Tuesday, they practice Wednesday. I think you're right there.
Monday. To act as if that's the deadline.
Yeah, treat it as one.
Show up with the rookies. Got to learn. Whatever they go over in those meetings. It's probably actually the boring meetings. It's probably like boring. I'm not saying unimportant, but it's probably when, like, you know, the NFLPA sends over a financial advisor to talk to you about how to handle things. It's like, I don't know if it's all, you know, I don't know if they're diving into scheme and X's and O's. But either way, be there. It would just make everybody a little less on edge. Nic Scourton is that important, I believe, for the Carolina Panthers. And we'll keep you updated if he does sign. We'll also keep you updated on the ladder challenge. Dennis and I battling it out for July supremacy. Dennis, we were on opposite sides of a bet yesterday.
Yeah, we were. You definitely won it.
Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets. I'm not saying this is going to translate, but they are on a summer league roll.
The Charlotte Hornets.
I had the Hornets -2.5 over the Spurs last night. They won 106-81.
Yeah, I said, yeah, Spurs. Why not? Right?
I took a yeah. You picked the Spurs, which is perfect. I took a screenshot when I checked this because I didn't watch the game live, but I did check the score to monitor the bet. With 8 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third, it was 61-37. I felt good about the bet at that point in time. Con Knipple had a good day. Hornets have a lot of young guys that actually, you know, appear to care. So they're trying hard in Summer League, which not every team can say. That brought my $25 that I had up to $47.73. Dennis, you are back to $10.
Yep.
All right. So I get to lead off. And I'm not playing it safe. This is, I think, going to be my downfall in all of these ladder challenges. I can't help but continue to push the envelope. Tonight, I am taking Wilson Contreras or Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals to hit a home run versus the Diamondbacks. Either one of those, one home run, so 1+ combined.
Okay.
It's plus 220. And I'm doing this because Brandon, I have no idea how to pronounce his last name, Pfaadt. Pfaadt.
Fat?
Could be. So part of me wants to say, like, God bless you. Like, it looks like a sneeze of some kind. Brandon Pfaadt. But he is 9th in the league in home runs allowed per 9 innings, and he is the starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks. So I took 2 of the guys that I think are the best home run hitters on the Cardinals because they're 2 of the 4 best totals of home runs this season. This is a strictly statistics-based bet. If either of them goes deep, it'll turn my $47.73 into $152.73 because it's plus 220. That's what I'm hoping for. Dennis, what are you rolling with?
I'm going to go Aaron Judge, plus 220 on a home run. So my $10 will turn into 32.
That's funny. It's. I get 2 guys, you get 1, but he's so good that they have the same odds to hit a home run.
Here's the thing. He's actually pretty close to being like in the top 100 all time in home runs. He's flirting with it. He's like, I think he just needs 2 more.
He's having a historical moment or a historic kind of legacy couple of weeks here. He just hit his 350th home run right before the All-Star break. Fastest in Major League Baseball history to get there as far as career games. He's zeroing in on some of the Yankees home run hitting lists. Going to get up there with what, like Yogi Berra and a few others. There's a good article on The Athletic written by Ian O'Connor that I'm like halfway through, kind of about this moment that he's having. So I can't give you all the details, but yeah, turns out when you're 6'7", 200, like you're the same weight as Nikola Jokic, but you have the hand-eye coordination and lateral agility to play a kind of a legit center field if you need to. That's good for baseball. And he when the baseball bat looks like a toothpick in your hand, that's good for business. He might like legitimately. And I read this stat going into the All-Star game. There was an article about like records that could potentially be broken in the second half. He might challenge some like all-time total base records because he's hitting for such a high average and hitting for power and getting so many extra base hits. Total bases is something he's tallying up, and I feel like that's a really good underused measurement of like how good a hitter you are. Just total bases. He's doing pretty well. So now that I've just gushed all kinds of positive energy over the bet Dennis made as we are in a competition, Wilson Contreras and Nolan Arenado are also good. And I know much less about their statistical milestones. That's the ladder challenge. Let's cut that. Hopefully I'm still in the lead tomorrow. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 5 days until training camp for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
In case you can't tell, I've said it 700 times today. I'm very excited that we are less than a week to players putting on helmets and getting out there and practicing. Also, we do have to ask our question of the day. We end the show on Fridays with making our picks, so I thought we'd do our question of the day right here, right now. Question for the Panthers. What are they dealing with in the NFC South? What are they dealing with in the division? In a NFL where teams go worst to first all the time, in an NFL where one injury can change everything in a division, what are they dealing with the opponents that they will face twice? And we'll go in order from, I would say, most scary, and scary is the wrong term, but like most formidable opponent, the one that I think will be best, down to worst. And we're not talking Panthers here. We're talking their rivals. We're talking the teams that if you can get their number, becomes a mental edge that you can hold for decades. Right? Think about how the Buffalo Bills basically had to wait until the Patriots were done with their reign, until they had to wait until the Patriots were done with their dynasty to take over. Now they've been good ever since. Right? You can keep that kind of mental edge over a team. I'll start with this. Tampa Bay has won the division 4 straight years. I mean, that was one of those facts that I knew, but still was like, really? 4 straight years? That means 2 years with Tom Brady, and they transitioned to Baker Mayfield and did not miss a year, and they now have won 2 with Baker Mayfield. And their actions, like I like to, talk is cheap, as everybody knows. Actions say more about what you think about your team. Their actions tell me they feel really good about themselves, right? The Bucks are confident. You know, I know.
They drafted another wide receiver in the first round?
Exactly. They're drafting luxuries in the first round, right? Emeka Egbuka, by the way, really good player. I am nerdy about the NFL draft. I thought he was kind of easily the third best wide receiver in the draft, and closer to the top two than most people think, and that's Travis Hunter and Teteroa McMillan, depending on what you think of Travis Hunter's role as a receiver or defensive back. Egbuka is really good, don't get me wrong. The Bucs do not need a wide receiver. They have Mike Evans, future Hall of Famer, one of the most steady Eddie consistent wide receivers in the history of the game. 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, book it. They also had Chris Godwin, who signed a huge discounted deal to stay with Tampa Bay. There are some reports he turned down $30 million extra dollars the rumors were the Patriots were ready to offer him to stay in Tampa Bay because he likes it there and likes the players and feels comfortable and likes the area and all those sorts of things. And then on top of that, they had one of the steals at the wide receiver position in the draft last year in Jalen McMillan, which kind of lets you jump to the other side and go like, all right, we already got our young guy to develop alongside these old guys. So when they age out, we have McMillan to slide in there. But they went, nah, we don't have any other pressing needs. We'll take another receiver. Emeka Egbuka was not a need. They drafted him anyway. That's the flex of their front office saying, our roster's so complete, we're going to win the division. We can let this guy marinate for a year or two and not get the value right away. Or if we do get the value, it'll be as, the slot receiver on 4 wide receiver sets. Or when these other guys get tired. When Mike Evans has caught 2 40-yard passes in the half, so he's a little winded, we'll put in Egbuka. So, yes, even with Baker Mayfield, who, by the way, is having like a real hype moment. He was picked as one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league by the anonymous front office executives, coaches, and scouts that ESPN polled. There's some reports that they're already considering or already talking about what a huge contract extension would look like for Baker Mayfield after this year when he has 1 year left on the 3-year, $100 million deal he signed. Like there's a lot of positivity around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At some point, some of their guys are going to start getting old, but they push off Father Time as good as anybody. Guys like Levante David. Levante David's been like racking up 100 tackles a season since I was in middle school. Kind of has that London Fletcher. Kind of has that London Fletcher feel when he was with Washington, of just like been around forever. He's going to end up on a whole bunch of all-time tackles lists, but probably a step short of the Hall of Fame, but just there year in and year out. So Tampa, I think, is the odds-on favorite to win the division. They've won 4 straight. What do you expect? Next up, as far as looking at the NFC South and what the Panthers have to deal with, Atlanta. I agree with the booing, but they're also in the same spot they've been like probably 6 times in my life. I feel like Atlanta always has just a ton of potential, and they've put it together maybe once. Right, the 28-3 year. That feels like the 1 year they kind of put it all together. But looking at their offense, now that Michael Penix has taken over as quarterback, they have a top 8 pick in the last 5 drafts at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Think about how high our expectations are for Teteroa McMillan, right? He was the 8th pick in the draft. They have a top 8 pick at every skill position. They got to put it together now, right? Because one of them is Kyle Pitts. He has the same amount of touchdowns as like Tommy Tremble. And that's no disrespect to Tommy Tremble, but, they aren't exactly given the same opportunities as a pass-catching tight end. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. All top 8 picks. Left tackle, former first-rounder. Right tackle, former first-rounder. Left guard, former first-rounder. Both corners, first-rounders. They just used 2 first-round picks this draft. On edge rushers, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., both from the state of North Carolina. We know them very well.
Oh, yeah.
They traded away an unprotected first-round pick in next year's draft to draft James Pierce Jr. towards the end of the first round this year. It is wildly gutsy to trade away an unprotected first-round pick. If you don't know why, ask the Panthers. Because they traded away what the pick that ended up being Caleb Williams in the Bryce Young trade, number 1 overall. If the Falcons deal with a couple injuries, that pick could be a horrendous trade. Or if they just don't put it together. If guys, they go more Kyle Pitts than Bijan Robinson as far as developing their stars, they could be in for a rough one. So Atlanta is still a team you have to take seriously because of all the talent they have, like measurables, big, tall, strong, fast guys. But I still think there's not more than like a 25% chance they actually put it together and reach their ceiling. So it's not zero, but it's not exactly the scariest team in the league. And then the third team to pay attention to, the New Orleans Saints. They are a mess. They are a mess, but I actually think the opinion has gotten a little carried away with how low everybody thinks of their roster. They are doing a bit of, they have to take their medicine after kicking so many contracts into the future over and over and over again cap-wise. But there's really one giant question on the roster, and it's quarterback. Right now that Derek Carr has retired, is it Spencer Rattler? Is it Tyler Shuck? Who's going to end up being their quarterback? Is it, I don't know, on third downs, Taysom Hill? There's the quarterback is a massive question mark, and that is a position that you simply do not want to have be the biggest question on your roster. But the rest of their roster isn't as gruesome. I'm not complimenting it. I'm not saying it's good, but it is kind of like if everybody says they're on a scale of 1 to 100, they're a 2. They might actually be like a 30. Like I'm not saying they're good, but like Chris Olave is good when healthy. Alvin Kamara is fighting off father time at the running back position as good as anybody not named Derrick Henry. Cam Jordan, I talk about fighting off father time, seems to, I saw a video of him working out. He was doing some field work, some drills. I'll tell you this, he's getting older. He looked stiff, a little bit of lurch running around out there. But on game day, I'm sure he'll find a way to, get the oil the Tin Man used and get those joints moving, and he'll come up with, 8 or 9 sacks, just kind of like a veteran that knows what he's doing will do. Brandon Cooks comes in. Rashid Shaheed comes in. Juwan Johnson as a pass-catching tight end. They've got some stuff there. Again, I don't think it's good, but if the Panthers treat the Saints like they are some kind of FCS program, and you're just going to march in there and get 2 wins, and all right, we're what's their over under 6.5? Like we're about 2/3 of the way to our over under because we played the Saints twice. Like they'll catch you one time.
And they split this past season, which might, like I said, might happen again this year. Split.
Gosh, I hope you don't have anything close to that first game of the season.
Oh gosh, that was awful.
Remember Derek Carr was everyone's MVP for like 20 minutes just off of what he did to the Carolina Panthers? A year later, he's retired.
Everyone's like, oh, man, they're looking good.
Then
they lose to the Panthers, and the coach gets fired.
It was the first 3 games of the year. Like, I'm not joking. Derek Carr was climbing up MVP list.
Oh, for sure.
And then the wheels fell off in a big way, which might be like they might have a 3-game stretch next year where they're good. That might be the better way to describe it. I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they'll have a bunch of upsets. There might be a 3-game stretch where things click and they play well. So you got to take them seriously, as if that 3-game stretch might out of the blue be when they're playing against you. So I still think they're a distant 4th in the division, but the Panthers aren't good enough to take anybody for granted.
No.
And I think the NFC South, at the risk of this being played back for me at the end of the year and a lot of ha-has, I think they'll surprise some people around the league. I don't know if they are the laughingstock of a division that they've been in the past. Again, a lot of that depends on the Bucs continuing to improve and the Falcons getting something out of their first-round draft picks all over the place. and the Panthers, taking the next step.
I mean, let's not forget, they split with Atlanta last year, they split with the New Orleans, and they also went into overtime with Tampa last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're not the dregs of the division anymore.
Absolutely not. The question is how much is the NFC South the dregs of the NFL?
Well, that's a different conversation.
But which I'm saying, I think they're all going to rise a little bit. They might stay kind of even. They might have a bunch of close games, but I think their competitive division games will be some percentage like better quality football. We talk about it all the time. Competitive games don't necessarily mean quality games.
No.
You can be equally bad and go to overtime and have a classic.
Sure.
Or you can be equally good and go to overtime and have a classic. That's what you want in your division. You want those games to be real, callous building, battle testing games that get you ready for the competitive games at the end of the year.
Tofu wants to know.
Who's this? Tofu?
On our YouTube live chat. Tofu.
All right, shout out Tofu.
Tofu wants to know, do you think 10 wins is over expectations for the Carolina Panthers this season? Tofu also says he thinks the Panthers are going to have 10 wins this year, but also wants to know if he's overestimating them, in your opinion, 10 wins.
Yes, that's as far as expectations, right? Expecting means like that's what I think is going to happen. That's a likely scenario. 10 wins is too many. They're over-under. Like I said, it's at 6.5. They won 5 last year.
I think last year was set at 4.5, I think.
It's a steady grind. Barring like one specific set of circumstances, which is new coach, new quarterback, and you hit on both in a big way, it is very difficult to jump from like, a 6-win team to a 10, 11, 12-win team. And even the bigger jumps are more difficult. Like you look at Washington last year, they kind of jumped in a big way, but new coach, and they hit on their quarterback in Jaden Daniels in a big way. Bryce Young is still here. Bryce Young, obviously, you want him to play better, but I think it's going to be incremental, right? You want him to take a step forward from the end of last year. I don't know if it's even fair to expect him to go from like what he did last year to top 5 quarterback in the league. It's not fair to expect that. Dave Canales, you want him to get better, right? And he's not a guy with a lot of head coaching experience like Washington hired. I think expectations 7, hoping 8, 9, fever dream if everything goes great, if Teteroa McMillan is the second coming of Jerry Rice, if Damani Richardson turns into like Peanut Tillman and gets his hands on the ball 100 times, 10, 11, but you don't want to expect that. I think what you're doing, by the way, as a fan, go nuts with what you like want and hope for. I just think you'd be setting yourself up for a likely disappointment if you go in expecting 10 wins.
I'm in that 7-8. I feel like 7-8.
I think 7 as an expectation is fair. You're hoping for 8-9 as like we got to get a couple breaks, right? You win an overtime game or two, 7-8, and then anything beyond that is your team of destiny stuff, and you start really looking around, going like, is this happening? You enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but expecting that, I think, is setting yourself up for disappointment. I think if you expect 7 or 8, you win 10, that's awesome. There's no complaints there. But if you expect 10, you win 7 or 8, it's going to feel like a disappointment when it really should feel like you're moving in the right direction. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, an Open Championship update and real, bold predictions. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jalen Hurts may be the most disrespected quarterback we have ever seen. He has championed the most unstoppable play in the history of the sport in the tush push. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, and he beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you're going to tell me that this guy is the 9th-ranked quarterback in the NFL? Are you out of your mind?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy Energy Smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let me make sure before I say this. Yes, everybody is off the course in the second round of the Open Championship, and we have an update for you. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here is the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. The leaders, just like last time I updated you, Scotty Scheffler alone in first. He is in the clubhouse. He went 7 under today. 10 under on the tournament. He has a one-stroke lead on the field. In second place, another former major winner, Matt Fitzpatrick, looking for his second major. He's 9 under par, alone in second. There's a two-way tie in third. Just one more stroke back from Fitzpatrick, 2 back from Scheffler. It's Brian Harman and Haotong Lee. They are at 8 under par. Both had good days today as well. If you're looking for big names, how about Tyrrell Hatton and Robert McIntyre, a couple guys from that part of the country, or that part of the world, not that part of the country. A couple of Borderlands lads. They are in a tie for 5th at 5 under par. Tied for 5th sounds good. 5 strokes behind Scotty Scheffler. A bit more daunting than that, right? It's like you're in the top 5 going into the weekend. All right, you probably got a chance to win this thing. Well, I have to chase down the best golfer in the world. 5 strokes. And he's playing well, by the way. He went 7 under on Friday. So that's where they stand. Rory McIlroy, 3 under par, tied for 12th. So, again, in the mix for a high finish in a major, but 7 strokes behind Scotty. And that's a tough spot to be. Justin Thomas tied for 26th. He's 1 under par. Akshay Bhatia also 1 under par. A guy with ties to the area. Spieth, Hovland, and Rahm all even on the tournament. Comfortably making the cut, but back in 34th. I said this earlier. I'm going to say it every time we do an update because I find it fascinating. Bryson DeChambeau shot a 78 in round 1. There's a lot to like and dislike about Bryson. He rubs some people the wrong way. There are a ton of people, when you shoot 7 over par in the first round of a major, especially one as grueling, as taxing, when the weather isn't cooperating like the Open Championship is at Royal Portrush, they'll just punt, right? Had a bad day on Thursday. I'm going to play my Friday round as quick as I can, and I'm going to get on my private jet back home and watch the weekend from home. He did not do that. He grinded and shot a 65, 13 strokes better in round 2 than he was in round 1. 78-65 puts him in a tie for 51st, which comfortably makes the cut. He moved up today 93 places. He passed 93 other golfers in today's round alone to make the cut. He's still far away from where he would like to finish a tournament, right? He's in a tie for 51st. He's 11 strokes behind Scotty, but you gotta respect the grind, the determination, the lack of give up in Bryce and DeChambeau's game. Ben Griffin, Raleigh native, UNC golfer formerly, he missed the cut, but he's been playing really good golf. You're not going to get him every week. Other big names that missed the cut, Brooks Koepka by a bunch. Colin Morikawa missed the cut by a bunch. So the course did take its victims, but we should have a really fun weekend for the Open Championship. The Open Championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with just one membership. Now we get to play Real Bold Predictions, one of my favorite segments of the week. Real Bold Predictions. Dennis, it's been a while.
It really has been.
A few weeks. Are you warm? Are you ready to go?
Let me just get the chime and the.
All right,
I'm good to go.
So there you go. It's basically if this is the only place in sports media where bold predictions have a checks and balances system. I'm going to make what I think is a bold prediction. If I get the buzzer that's not bold enough, I have to make it bolder on the spot until we hear. There you go. Let's start with this one. Let's start with the Panthers. I'll ease you back into it since, you host the Panthers pod and paying a lot of attention to him. Derek Brown wins Comeback Player of the Year. Keep in mind, I had a whole. Can I at least make my persuasive argument?
Sure.
I thought I might have to. A quarterback has won Comeback Player of the Year every year since 2018. An offensive player has won Comeback Player of the Year every year since 2016. And that just doesn't seem right.
It's dumb.
Like MVP going to quarterbacks an astronomical amount of the time. As much as it doesn't feel fair, it kind of makes sense because that position is just so valuable to a team, right? You can have the best defensive tackle in the game. If you have a bad quarterback, it really doesn't matter. The value is just inherently different. But Comeback Player of the Year, you have to. Are quarterbacks dealing with more tragedies and more bad injuries than other positions? That the Comeback Player of the Year is about overcoming something and playing really well moving forward.
I kind of lost faith in the Comeback Player of the Year award a couple years ago when Joe Flacco got it, come back from just being a backup, whereas DeMar Hamlin literally died on the field and came back and played. I'm like,
hey,
I'm sorry, there's a comeback
There's
here.
a lot of bad Comeback Player of the Year winners you could have highlighted. You didn't have to go after a Delaware Blue Hen.
Hey, I'm just saying, he just came back from being benched.
There are a lot that just come back, some just from being bad. They just played poorly one year and then played better the next.
To me, that doesn't make sense. Like Alex Smith, I had the gruesome leg injury, which people thought he was going to lose his leg, and comes back and plays. That's a comeback.
Correct. And by the way, Derek Brown, super bad injury week 1. If he is as good as I think he's going to be this year, then yes, I think Comeback Player of the Year would be on the table. I maybe don't have faith in the voters, but that's why it's bold.
Exactly. It's the voters.
Next one. Oh, Caleb Wilson, UNC freshman.
Okay.
Top 5 NBA draft pick next year.
Yeah, UNC hasn't putting a lot of them out.
I say this, or I said this during mini camps, where it's don't get the off-season highlights, don't get too hyped, and then you see the one grainy footage of Bryce Young throwing a deep ball to Teteroa McMillan, and you're like, all in, Rookie of the Year. He's leading them in touchdowns. Caleb Wilson, UNC put out a highlight film of one of their practice. Looks like they were getting 5-on-5 scrimmaging in. Caleb Wilson caught a alley-oop dunk one-handed over one of his teammates. It looked like, I don't know, one of the most athletic things I've seen in a long time. It's just a practice clip, and it was amongst a bunch of other clips, and it was 2 seconds in a 40-second highlight film. But I saw it, and I went, yep, that guy's awesome. That guy, he's going to dunk on everybody. He's Blake Griffin of the college world. Watch out, Pau Gasol. So I'm all in. He's going to win by $1 billion, and he's going to be a top 5 pick. I wanted to audition this one because we talked about it yesterday, and I called it bold. I said I'm going bold and made a prediction. And I thought, well, I'm not allowed to do that. I can't call something bold without the bell and the buzzer to decide for me. So, Princely Uman Mielen will lead the Panthers in sacks.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got to spot check myself. I can't say bold unless we have the bell and the buzzer out. and I did say bold yesterday, so I'm glad that it holds up through the scrutiny. 3rd-round pick leading a team in sacks. I think for any team would be pretty bold, but wanted to double-check. I also wanted to run this one by you.
Okay.
I did this with, I believe it was Max producing. Same prediction, but I felt I had to go too bold, so I'm bringing it back to you as the regular, more established bell and buzzer. Keandre Miller produces 10 or more points this year than Dmitry Orlov for San Jose.
This year?
This year.
So make sure I get this correct. Keandre Miller for the Canes will have 10 more points at least than Dmitry Orlov.
Correct. That's a better way to say it. Keep in mind, Orlov had 28 last year. Miller had 27. 15 more. Okay. I had to go to, I think, like 25 more.
Really? Gosh.
No, by the end, I was saying, like, I might as well have just said double them. I might as well have just said double the points. It might not have been 25, but it was at least 20. By the way, I do think Orlov's going to have a lot of opportunity out there in San Jose just by the nature of the rest of that roster. But I think Miller, I think he's going to bring a nice little pop, a lot of assists. And we don't know the whole who's going to be on what special team and everything else, but I'm looking forward to Miller getting his point production up. How about I'll just throw this out there because I like Scottish golfers. Robert McIntyre wins the Open. Anybody other than Scotty is going to be bold there, right?
Him or Fitzpatrick.
He's in the top 5, but he's a ways back. I think 5 strokes from Scotty. But the Scottish golfer at the Open Championship. I like when the Canadians win the Canadian Open. I like when that stuff happens. Last one for you. Actually, I have 2 more. 2 more quickly.
Okay.
Micah Parsons signs for $45 million per year on his next contract.
Let's see. TJ Watt just got,
I think it's 41 on his extension.
Let me make sure I get 41. So his will be 45 on his next contract. Now, knowing Jerry Jones and the time that he takes to sign these contracts, you're probably looking at next year.
Yeah, probably.
So you said at least 45?
$45 million per year, at least. It's exactly that. The Cowboys are so bad at handling this. They're going to wait for like Trey Hendrickson to reset the market and then somebody else to reset it one more time. It might be $50 million per year by the time Micah Parsons.
I probably should have gave that a buzzer in all honesty. Actually, probably should have said 50.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's so obvious what happens in the NFL. You wait, somebody else sets the market. Now your guy's going, never mind, I want more. And Micah Parsons is good enough to kind of keep doing that. Now, last one. The top college football teams in the country leave the NCAA to form a Super League within 10 years. Within 8 years. 6 years. How low am I going to have to go? You think this is going to happen like next Tuesday?
No.
Okay. 5 years?
The reason why I was going down to that is, guys, I think this remember correctly, that's when the Big Ten and SEC media deals are up right around 2030, 2031.
I think we'll probably start hearing serious rumors from insiders 4 or 5 years from now, and then like 6, 7 is when it kind of actually goes into effect. But I do think it's coming, so everybody start preparing for it. Just get your mind wrapped around it. Could be some changes coming to college football. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, was real, bold predictions. That wasn't? Not bold enough? All right. That was authentic, certified, bold predictions. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting 5 coming up next. We will update you once again on whether Nic Scourton, second-round pick for the Panthers, has signed a contract or not. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Baseball showed it can be fun. A throwback to being a kid with a backyard sudden death home run competition, breaking the tie and ending the All-Star game. No pitch clocks, no bigger bases, just dudes swinging hard for the fences. All it needed was my mom to yell out, "Hey, you got school in the morning. Get home now."
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, now available at Wegmans.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike May. Showers and storms play a prominent role in the forecast this evening and overnight. We have a flood watch in effect through 4 a.m., 76 the low, 96 tomorrow, another heat advisory, along with a 50% chance for storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 142 points to 44,342.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday at 5 o'clock. Thank you for starting your weekend with us here on 99.9 The Fan.
Well done.
Cheers, if you're into that sort of thing, on a little happy hour. If not, cool. Either way, it's time for the starting 5, so let's go ahead and start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dennis, has Nic Scourton signed with the Carolina Panthers?
He has not.
Have a bunch of other second-round picks signed with their teams, and it's starting to become like, it's going to happen, just do it already with Nic Scourton of the Carolina Panthers.
One at a time.
So there is a little bit of news on kind of the second-round picks being unsigned so late, and now they're all – that whole situation. Luther Burden, Chicago Bears wide receiver, drafted 39th overall, has signed or agreed to sign with the Chicago Bears, and his deal is fully guaranteed. Jonah Savayanea, I believe might be his name.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Dolphins, pick number 37, also signed with his team, and that is a 100% guaranteed deal. So,
Colts also reached a deal with JT Tuamolo from Ohio State, their second-round pick as well. According to Mike Garofalo, signed.
Okay. Is that
Anthony Belton, Green Bay Packers, has signed as well.
Do we know the
I don't see the terms on those, but no. But nonetheless, like Anthony Belton, NC State guy, has signed officially with the Packers now.
So he can be available and in practice from day one, which is really the big deal about all of this, right? If you didn't have to have a deal signed by the first practice to participate, this would be significantly less worrisome for teams across the league that are depending on their second-round picks to be ready. Can we go full conspiracy theory here for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tinfoil hats, let's go.
So right now, every pick that has signed, in every second-round pick that has agreed to a deal, that is pick number 41 or higher. So 41 or closer to number 1, right? The earlier picks in the draft, from 41 up, every pick that is signed has gotten a 100% guaranteed deal. That was unheard of in the second round up until this year, right? Second-round picks just inherently did not get guaranteed contracts. Now they are, and there was a bit of like players standing together against the teams to get these deals, right? Jaden Higgins got a fully guaranteed deal with the Houston Texans, the 34th pick, and then everybody kind of bound together in their negotiations trying to get guaranteed contracts for second rounders, and at least the top third of the draft, it's working. Now, here's where the conspiracy theory comes in. If you pay attention to off-season, real nerdy NFL stuff, you know that there is a real interesting collusion conversation happening in the NFL. Pablo Torre, you can check out his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, I think is what it's called. He did some deep diving into collusion amongst teams to not give players fully guaranteed deals, and there was a lot of I would say, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke around like the Lamar Jackson situation when he was negotiating his deal and they put a tender on him that allowed other teams to reach out if they wanted to negotiate a deal. And nobody reached out to Lamar Jackson, even though, as we've seen, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the world. And it turns out there may have been some again, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke about teams colluding against giving guaranteed contracts to players, fully guaranteed contracts to players. If I were the league and I wanted to maybe give something up, maybe to make it look like, oh, we're not against guaranteed contracts. We're not colluding against giving players guaranteed contracts, but I also didn't want to give up anything real. You know what I might do? Start guaranteeing 4-year, $10 million contracts that second rounders get, because then it's like, no, see, we're cool with guaranteeing contracts. But all you have to do is guarantee like $2.5 million a year rather than $55 million a year you have to do with quarterbacks. So it's like, no, we'll keep colluding on that. But here, no, it's basically they're intentionally getting beat in negotiations by second rounders so they can go, all right, it's 1-1. It's 1-1. We won on the quarterbacks. You won on the second rounders. Back to even Steven, right? We're square. Without acknowledging that, quarterbacks would get a lot more guaranteed money per year than these guys would. Any three of these guys would get combined over the next 4 years of their rookie contracts.
Like 6 of them.
It's just, there's some lawyer behind, some lobbyist advisor telling the NFL, like, don't fight so hard on the second rounders. We need to give the players a win. And maybe they'll take it easy on us on this stuff Pablo Torre's poking around on over here. But again, that's just conspiracy theory, right? We put on the tinfoil hat and we talk about what may be, right? I'm not accusing anybody of anything. It's hypothetical. Potential.
So Nic Scourton still remains unsigned. Again, Anthony Belton out of NC State has signed with the Green Bay Packers. Scourton was picked 51 in the draft. 3 picks later, Green Bay selected Belton. And then also earlier today, Elijah Arroyo, the 50th pick, so 1 pick ahead of Nic Scourton, signed a deal with the Seattle Seahawks as well. So everyone's just kind of starting to fall in a little bit and slide in. There's probably another 10 or so probably out there roughly that have yet to sign fully. 10 to 12.
Yeah. The last 2 picks of the round, I'm not counting Quinshon Judkins, who is dealing with a legal situation, and that's completely a different beast.
A little different.
I also want to point this out. David Tepper does have the owner of the Panthers, does have a reputation as a ferocious businessman, right? His hedge fund reputation with, Appaloosa Management or Appaloosa Fund, I don't know what it's exactly called. His reputation is as a pretty cutthroat business person. Maybe he would be the one that's like, no, we're not getting pushed around. Don't let this player, holdouts maybe, he's like, I can hold out longer than they can. I'm a billionaire. There's a bit of that reputation as well, by the way, with like Tom Dundon, who owns the Canes. There's maybe some Carolina professional sports owners are just, they got to win negotiations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be the case. I think it was just kind of the trickle-down effect of we saw second-round picks getting signed for fully guaranteed deals, and it kind of reset the market. So everyone's kind of in a holding pattern of, well, this is uncharted territory. I don't know where to go.
And where's the cutoff, right?
Yeah, where's the cutoff?
If we know the first pick of the second round gets a guaranteed deal, and we know the last pick of the second round doesn't get a guaranteed deal, where does the switch flip, right, is kind of what everybody's looking for.
I think it'll happen over the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if Friday about 5:30 is when a lot of news breaks.
That's true.
Little news dump action. That was number 5 in the starting 5. Let's jump to number 2.
That we're going 5 to 2?
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
The Charlotte Hornets.
It's a Friday, everybody. It is Friday at 5. It's funny because I made a happy hour joke at the beginning of the hour. I promise I have not started happy hour yet.
You haven't?
Not yet.
'Cause I wasn't invited if you did.
I'm on camera this whole time. YouTube would know if I were dabbling. Number 4, Summer League in the NBA is both like over scrutinized because it's all that NBA fans have at this time of year, and I think there's one specific purpose, and it is working perfectly for Con Knipple of the Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Obviously spent his one-and-done year in college at Duke before being drafted 4th overall by the Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets. The point of Summer League to me is to get players comfortable, right? You're not going to make them better players, right? They're not going to, like, if somebody hits 4 of 8 threes in Summer League, you're not going to go, well, look at that. They weren't a very good shooter in college last year when we got to watch 35 games, but they went 4 of 8, so we need to get them popping on pick and rolls, right? It's pick and pop now. No, that's not how it works, right? The basketball, it's such a small sample size. But what it can do is get players more comfortable, right? Maybe get some of those first NBA jersey jitters out of the way. I think it's worked perfectly for Con Knipple. If you watch his first Summer League game, 0 for 5 from 3, almost double clutched a couple rather than catch and fire like we saw so many times at Duke. Dribbled it off some defenders that I don't think really were he should have been able to handle the ball in those situations. Like we know he's better than he showed, but he looked a little tense, looked a little nervous. The most recent game last night, which they won by 20-something over the Spurs, at one point in time, he was jumping out of bounds to save a ball. Did the whole eyes in the back of his head thing, threw a no-look, two-handed, over the back of his head dime to set up a fast break bucket on the other way for his teammate. And it's like, okay, he's comfortable. We're good. Don't have to worry about the jitters anymore. He's out there doing the weird reaction plays that he only does when he's in rhythm and playing instinctively. His second game, which was between the two I'm discussing, he hit a pull-up 3 where if you listen to the broadcast, the analyst literally goes, wow, he's shooting that? And then he drills it. Like while the ball is in the air, wow, he's shooting that? And then it's good. And it's like, all right, yep, we're good. He's comfortable. Like, Summer League job complete. Let's get to the real thing. So Duke fans that obviously are rooting for your former player to do well in the pros, I think he'll be as ready as he can be heading into the preseason because Summer League did its job for him. That's number 4. Let's go to number 75, a.k.a. 3.
What?
I should have said 72. I don't know why I said 75 there. Because number 3 The NFL is putting out their top 100. NFL Network, it's a slow process. I wish they would just put it all out on one day. They put out like 2 names a day.
It's that slow drip, man.
It's that time of year. But the whole idea of it is the NFL players get to vote on who the top 100 players are in the NFL, and then the league compiles all of those votes and makes the NFL top 100. Every year, there are a couple surprises, right? There's some. It's like, oh, really? Players think that guy's that good, or where the heck is this guy? Do the players not respect him? Last year, I think that was Derek Brown. I was like, where? He's not in there? But a certain former Carolina Panther is number 72 on the list. It was revealed today. 72. Another certain Carolina Panthers, number 73. And I don't think if I gave you 100 guesses, you would put the order of 72 and 73 in the right spot. Number 72, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, the players voted Sam Darnold as the 72nd best player in the entire NFL after he had his redemption season with the Minnesota Vikings. Number 73, Christian McCaffrey. I don't know. I just wouldn't have predicted it. But I do think this is the way certain quarterbacks have played since they left Carolina is not a great indicator of the culture that the Carolina Panthers had for about 5 years there. Baker Mayfield is a 2-time defending division champion leading quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's making a ton of money, and he's expected to sign for a bunch more next year. Sam Darnold is, according to the players, the 72nd best player in the NFL. And they were both on the Panthers at the same time, and they were awful. That's not great for the coaches and the culture they had in Carolina. Even something like Teddy Bridgewater, right? That offense I actually think was super underrated with the Carolina Panthers, and everybody chased him out of town because he wasn't Cam Newton. And looking back, it's like, I don't know if you knew what you had there. And even he's having like some good press because he's spending $200,000 of his own money to help high schoolers back at his Miami Northwestern, his alma mater. Like, it just pretty soon we're gonna see like I don't know, Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen like in the Pro Bowl or something, just because every Carolina Panthers quarterback goes somewhere else and plays better. It just goes to show. This is going to be my overarching point rather than just making fun of like the 2021 Panthers or whatever it was. There are, I don't know, at any given time, like 5 quarterbacks that I consider inevitable, right? You could put darn near any coach with them, darn near any supporting cast, barring just absolute awful rosters, and they're going to make the offense pretty good, right? They're going to make things palatable because they're that good. They drag along supporting casts that well. Darn near every other quarterback in the league is pretty situational, and what that means is they're only going to be good if you have a play caller that gets them, understands their strengths and weaknesses, and you have certain level of ability in their supporting cast. Sam Darnold with the Panthers, and that was the Matt Rule years, right? Sam Darnold
at the end of the day,
with Matt Rule trying to draw out his strengths and weaknesses, and with the supporting cast that wasn't quite good enough. It's a pretty rough one, right? It was pretty rough. But you put him in Minnesota, you give him Kevin O'Connell, who is a great play caller, and you give him Justin Jefferson, and you give him Jordan Addison, and you give him, Aaron Jones, and you give him maybe Hawkinson for the second half of the year, and you give him a really good offensive line. All of a sudden, he looks like the 72nd best player in the league. Now, I don't know what that says. Like, do you continue to invest in a player knowing you didn't do well enough around him, or do you move on like the Panthers did? It's probably a little bit of both. You got to read the room, but you hope the Panthers get to a situation where they have the support to make a player that is situational look good, rather than not having the support to make a player that needs the support to look awful.
Well, let's not forget as well when it comes to Sam Darnold, he was kind of the insurance for J.J. McCarthy in case J.J. McCarthy wasn't ready to start. Then McCarthy had the knee injury.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I guess we're stuck starting Sam Darnold. And then he had the year that he had.
Until the last, they had a game, I think it was against the Lions right near the end of the year that was for essentially the bye or at least to win the division.
I think that was the last game in the season.
And then he didn't play great in that one, and then he didn't play great in the postseason. If you take, if those two games didn't happen, which you're not allowed to do, you can't just take bad games and go, those don't count. But the first 16 games,
it was awesome.
He was unbelievable as far as expectations versus what actually took place. He was really good. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
At the end of the day,
Matt Rule, over-under, 115, playing Royal Portrush, with the location of the Open Championship.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking the over. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. The second round is in the books, so we know who made the cut. We know who's in the lead. Heading into the weekend, pretty darn chalky at the top. Scotty Scheffler, he was the overwhelming betting favorite. He is the leader going into the weekend. 10 under on the tournament, and he'll be teeing off at final pairing tomorrow. He'll be joined by Matt Fitzpatrick. The good news is Fitzpatrick is just one stroke off the lead. Fitz is as good of a bad weather, as good of a tough conditions player as there is. I actually think he's one of the, I don't know if I want to call them weirdos. But Dennis, in your playing career, I'm sure you had these guys where it's they weirdly enjoyed conditioning, where everybody else, I like the scrimmaging part of practice, and then when things got it was a hot day, and it's well, why are you smiling while we run gassers?
Yeah, and
they're just I don't know, this is the part where my psycho kicks in. Fitzpatrick's kind of that way, right? All the golfers are I hope it's 72 degrees, no wind. Fitzpatrick's I want it raining, I want it 45, I want the rough long. I want everybody to suffer out there because that's where I get my psycho off.
Give me wind gusts.
Yeah,
all the wind gusts.
So to have him kind of up there with Scotty can't cruise, right? He can't think he has it in the bag. Brian Harmon and Haotong Lee are tied 2 strokes off Scotty's lead. They're in a tie for 3rd. And they're both established golfers, grinders. Harmon has won an Open, so far from over. Rory McIlroy, 3 under par, 7 strokes off the lead, but he's in a tie for 12th. So, not a ton of golfers ahead of him, but also has some ground to make up. As far as other big names, actually, let's go to the big names that missed the cut, because I don't think I did that during my last update. Colin Morikawa, eliminated. Brooks Koepka, also not seeing the weekend. As we move on, looking for big names. Denny McCarthy, he's kind of a local guy, Virginia golfer. He's not seeing the weekend. Patrick Cantlay's not seeing the weekend, both eliminated. Ben Griffin, Raleigh native, UNC former golfer, not seeing the weekend.
Patrick Reed
not seeing the weekend. Jason Day, Joaquin Neiman not seeing the weekend. So the course, it took its victims, if you will. But it still should be a really fun weekend for those of you that are going to get up early and watch some golf. Time difference. Got to get up early. That is number 2. How about number 1?
Go 1!
It was highly documented that the UNC Tar Heels football team, headlined by their coach, Bill Belichick, nearly ended up the subject of a HBO Hard Knocks behind-the-scenes documentary series. And then it was highly documented that it fell through at the 11th hour, and certain emails that were acquired through Freedom of Information Acts appeared to imply that the reason it fell through was because, or at least in part because, and it wasn't confirmed exactly, so I don't want to act like we're reporting 100% truths here, but it seemed like Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, wanted some form of final approval or even partial ownership of the documentary series, and that proved to be some form of a deal breaker, and the HBO series never worked out. And once that fell through, it was a bummer, because I was like, man, it would have been really fun to see how Bill Belichick runs a college football program. It would have been really fun to see, what the 33rd NFL team means, right? Because every time Michael Lombardi, who's their general manager. Every time Bill Belichick talks about how they're going to run a college program, they bring up that they're going to treat it like the 33rd pro team. They're going to treat it like a pro team. And I'm going, what does that mean? Players still have to go to school, right? It can't be a full-time job. They have to go to class. There's still limits on how much you can practice. There's you just can't do as much as the NFL can. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we still might find out, because it was revealed earlier today, UNC, while not getting the HBO series, they're getting a Hulu series. Different streamer, maybe the same result. UNC will be having a behind-the-scenes series of their football team heading to Hulu, which does change the dynamic a bit, right? HBO, I don't believe, has any kind of a media deal with any of the entities that UNC is associated with. Hulu is owned by Disney, which also owns ESPN, which has the ACC football media rights. So there is a bit of, we all want to move in the same direction here, right? Disney wants UNC to be as marketable as possible because they're going to be airing a bunch of UNC games this year. And hopefully for years to come with Bill Belichick as the coach. Hulu probably wouldn't want to upset Disney by poo-pooing any of that momentum. So there might be a little bit more I've never really had the true desk job. A corporate synergy is, I believe, what they call it. Some good corporate synergy there. What I want to know is where they left it off with the demands for or requests for final cut and or partial ownership. Because if you all right, I'm second shout out to Pablo Torre. He's got this podcast going. Pablo Torre Finds Out. He did probably too many episodes about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, and at times, because I've watched them all on YouTube, it got a little strange. He went and rented the Airbnb that Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson rented a year or two ago, whatever it was, just to show everybody what the inside of it looked like. He went deep, but I guess that's what investigative journalists do. But some of his reporting also led to behind the scenes on commercials that Bill Belichick was a part of. And if you believe Pablo Torre, there were some shoehorning of Jordan Hudson into those. So much so that, again, you have to listen to the podcast to get the full run of Pablo Torre's reporting. They may have pointed cameras that weren't recording at Jordan Hudson to make it seem like they were going to use it in promotional materials and commercials because they felt that was necessary just to get them to move on with the Bill Belichick part of the commercials. Again, listen to the podcast for the full context. But if that was that important then, we might be getting a lot of Jordan Hudson in the Hulu series. We also maybe Hulu put their foot down and UNC acquiesced and it'll be all football. I don't know. What I do know is you get two very different clienteles. You get very different customer groups as far as who watches the documentary series, if it focuses more on Bill Belichick and his personal life or if it focuses more on the football. I'm going to watch it regardless because it's, my job to cover those teams, but I do hope it's more football. I want to know more about how they're going to replace Omarion Hampton and what the 33rd NFL team means and how is Freddie Kitchens going to work out the offense. That's kind of what I'm into, but if we end up watching a bunch of date nights with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, there will be more of a tabloidy feel to the thing, and there'll be different people watching.
Just show us the inner workings of the program. I think that's really what a lot of people want to see. What are the inner workings of the program? That's it.
I think there's also a lot of people that want to see the other stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I'm on your side, but I do think I think if you're just talking highest rated, most viewers, I think Jordan Hudson would have to be a part of it somewhere.
Oh yeah,
because that's the buzz. That's what's the haps, for better or worse. I don't know what that says about our sports society, but I think that's what the producers are looking for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Our question for the numbers game, by the way, for those of you, will have something to do with documentaries about teams. I've decided that. In the meantime, before we take our numbers game contestants, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. Earlier this week, I was actually out in California. My girlfriend and I had a little vacation this summer, and one of the areas we went to was Big Sur and riding up and down the Pacific Coast Highway. Gorgeous scenery, and there were plenty of people that we passed that were riding their motorcycles, and I'll be honest, I wish I was one of those people because it's, as a motorcycle rider, one of the things that you enjoy is just being able to see the scenery. There's so many people that I know that go out to the western part of the state here in North Carolina and go up and down the Blue Ridge Parkway, or like what I saw, people go up and down the Pacific Coast Highway. But one thing about those situations is those areas attract a lot of tourists, a lot of visitors, myself included. And sometimes those people aren't always paying attention to the road, and accidents, unfortunately, do happen where you are not at fault as a motorcycle rider. And in those kinds of situations, you have to give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with your insurance company. Law Tigers attorneys are part of the motorcycle riding community, so they know what you're going through after an accident, but also they know the value of your gear and your motorcycle as well. Again, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what you're going through after an accident, and that's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. The prize for today, the final time for you to win tickets, a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival at Coastal Credit Union Music Park. If you want to see the Outlaw Music Festival, you have to call in and you have to win. Got to earn them in the numbers game. So we need two contestants. Call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. The numbers game coming up next.
Golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the British Open from Royal Portrush. Depend on us for leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Claret Jug.
Xander Schauffele is the winner of the 152nd Open Championship.
Coverage of the British Open on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with one membership.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. Yes, give me my good friends. Give me that dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Rock out with your favorite bands at Lost 80s Live at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater, August 3rd. Grab your tickets at etix.com today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, Outlaw Music Festival tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park later this month. You'll have a pair of tickets if you win the numbers game. The contestants are Brandon in Raleigh and Andrew in Goldsboro. As always, I will ask the same question to both contestants. Dennis will listen to the answers, and he will choose his favorite. That person will get to go first. We'll start with Brandon in Raleigh. Brandon, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we've talked a decent amount today about the UNC Tar Heels football team getting a Hulu behind-the-scenes documentary series about them produced this year. If you could pick any team right here, right now. And you'd get to see all the inner workings, all the behind the scenes, any sport. But I'm going to go current team with this. We've asked this about teams throughout history. Current team for an upcoming season. Which one would you choose and why?
Carolina Hurricanes all day because I just love the team, so I love to see the inner workings of it.
All right. Dennis, any follow-ups?
No notes.
All right,
no questions.
perfect. We go to Andrew in Goldsboro. Andrew, are you there?
I am there. I was also going to say Canes because I think that's a fantastic answer, but I'll go back up and say Duke basketball.
Okay. Do you want to give us any details as to why?
I had open heart surgery at Duke when I was 4.5, and if it weren't.
All right, you broke up there a little bit, but I think we got the gist, right? When you were a youngster, you had open heart surgery at Duke, so now you have the connection, and that. You know what, Dennis? I'm going to be real with you. When he said, I was going to go with Canes too, I was like, oh, Dennis's job is easier because he's going to pick the first one.
Yeah.
Then he hits you with the heart surgery as a 4.5-year-old, I think he said.
Yeah.
Which that's a good comeback. He was down by 2 scores at half. It's a good comeback.
Yeah, exactly. Came out quick, fast touchdown, got the ball back right away. I can't go against that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that one.
Be like a heartless human being if I said that.
There you go. No pun intended.
No, seriously, no pun intended for real.
So Andrew in Goldsboro gets to go first. Brandon and Raleigh, great answer. There's only a few ways that one doesn't win, but you found one. Either way, you'll both have your chance to win the tickets. Both have your chance to play the numbers game. So Brandon, stay on hold for a little bit there. Andrew in Goldsboro, you get to go first. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories are NFL players that use wrestling moves as their celebrations. NFL players. TikTok's hottest NFL players not named Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know who decides this, but that is the category. NBA players that are just the most random assortment of active players, or NHL Hurricanes only. Those are your options.
NHL Hurricanes only?
I had a feeling. I will give you just a little bit of advice here. You did have your phone kind of cut in and out when we were talking about the previous question. So if I say that again, I'll say it quickly. Just repeat it, because that means that it dropped and we didn't hear it or something like that, and I don't want you to use any time you don't have to, okay?
Got it.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Taylor Hall, Carolina Hurricanes.
51.
Say it again.
51.
Incorrect. Jack Drury, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Taylor Hall, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Incorrect. Jack Drury, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Taylor Hall, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Incorrect. Jack Drury, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Taylor Hall, Carolina Hurricanes. You were right with the 1. You knew there was a 1 in the single digits, in the ones place. 71 is what we were looking for Taylor Hall. 71. Jack Drury with the Canes, he wore both 18 and 72 at different times, so we would have accepted either. Unfortunately, that's an offer, but fortunately for you, a tie goes to whoever goes first. So if it is a double offer, you still have a chance. So stay on hold. We'll see if you end up winning the tickets, okay?
Okay.
All right. That means Brandon in Raleigh is up next. Brandon, are you there?
I am. I'm going to be cooked here.
You're going to be what?
Cooked.
Okay.
I was going Canes, and then he followed up with Canes. I was like, oh, I got this. And then the open heart surgery. Can't beat that.
All right, well, you only need 1 to win, and I don't like the lack of confidence going in. So we're gonna turn the positivity on here. The categories remaining for you are NFL players that use wrestling moves as their signature celebrations, NFL players that are listed on TikTok's hottest NFL players not named Jimmy Garoppolo, or NBA, the most random assortment of active players we could find.
Let's go NBA.
Okay. NBA players, randomly assorted, active players. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Good to go.
All right. You only need 1 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Andrew Wiggins, Miami Heat.
21.
Incorrect. Cam Thomas, Brooklyn Nets.
18.
Incorrect. Andrew Wiggins, Miami Heat.
11.
Incorrect. Cam Thomas, Brooklyn Nets.
Skip.
Jordan Poole, Washington Wizards.
1.
Incorrect. Andrew Wiggins, Miami Heat.
18.
Incorrect. Cam Thomas, Brooklyn Nets.
22.
Incorrect. Jordan Poole, Washington Wizards.
13.
What was that?
13.
Dennis, you're going to have to go back and check. 13 is correct for Jordan Poole. That felt like an absolute dart throw, but I'm not sure you got it in under the buzzer. That'll be the difference between winning and losing for you. So Dennis is going to check. He is our judge. For those of you playing at home, we were looking for Andrew Wiggins, 22. You said 21 right out the gate, so I thought we had a chance. Cam Thomas, 24, and Jordan Poole, you did get it right, but it wasn't under the buzzer with 13.
We're going to play for you. I do not think it beat the buzzer. Here it is.
13.
One more time.
13.
Yeah, I heard buzzer before 13. Oh. That's
no problem, man. It was a shot in the dark. I hope the other guy enjoys the festival.
All right. That is a very, very you're a very not sore loser. So we appreciate you for playing. Hopefully you had fun. That means Andrew in Goldsboro. I can't say it was the most aesthetically pleasing win, but a win is a win nonetheless, and you just won yourself some tickets.
It was all heart, man.
You know what? That's a solid joke right there. There's no notes on that one. Appreciate you for playing. It was all heart. That is what won it for you. So stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to send you to the Outlaw Music Festival.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
That was not the best way to send ourselves into the weekend, but at least they were both very good sports about it, right? At least they both kind of, handled it well for such a rough outing. I will say this. In defense of the second contestant there, if you went in with the hope that you were going to get just NHL and you kind of had to settle for an NBA category, those were not the easiest contenders, right? Cam Thomas is a guy he's scoring a bunch of points in the NBA right now, but he's not, a Hall of Famer by any stretch. So, there's some tough ones there. Andrew Wiggins, even if it were Wiggins with the Warriors or the Timberwolves, that's kind of what he's known for with the Heat. It's tough to imagine what jersey number you're looking at there. But either way, like I said, they were both good sports about it. We got a double offer, but you can't kill my vibes on a Friday. And the winner there going to Outlaw Music Festival, Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Sunday, July 27th. I'm going to update this real quick, see if we have any news on Nic Scourton signing with the Carolina Panthers. It would be nice to have it just before the end of the show today. Not as of yet, at least not according to Yahoo. Nic Scourton, Carolina Panthers second-round pick, still remains unsigned. And we'll just keep you posted as long as we can. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, earlier today I kind of gave you guys a ton of urgency to text in beef for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. Many of you did. The numbers, I was informed during one of our commercial breaks, a whole bunch of you did text in, so I appreciate you. And also, you did good for yourself because you might win yourself a prize of your weight in meat, which is pretty darn cool. But I'll ask one more thing that I think is, I will definitely thank you for, but I also think is solid on your behalf. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We put in a lot of work, and not just Dennis, although Dennis puts a lot of work, not just me, but I put a lot of work. But behind the scenes, Adam, Victoria, a bunch of people that have off-air roles with us, put a lot of work into making sure our YouTube is constantly being filled with solid content about the teams that you probably care about, right? The local teams, the teams here in the Triangle, the teams here in the state. So if you want to do us a solid and also open yourself up to the content about your favorite teams, search 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and pass it around to your friends, right? That's where you would really be doing us a solid. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, search for it, watch the videos, like, comment, subscribe, and you'll be forever okay in my book.
We might have to give something away if we hit 20,000.
Oh, 100%. I've already I don't even know if I have this power, right? I'm just a host. But I've already said we're giving something away for $20,000. I think $10,000 we gave away a Seth Jarvis signed puck.
I think it was, for $10,000 or $15,000, whichever it was.
That's serious. The big round numbers. We just passed $18,000, which was solid. Really looking forward to it. I was, it's kind of a mini goal on the way to a big goal. The big goal is $20,000. So we'll just randomly select one of the, or a couple of the, who knows, subscribers once we hit 20,000 and give some cool stuff away. But we got to get there first, so pass it around to your friends. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. When we come back, we'll make our picks, send you off into the weekend the right way, as only the drive can, so don't go anywhere.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jalen Hurts may be the most disrespected quarterback we have ever seen. He has championed the most unstoppable play in the history of the sport in the tush push. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, and he beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you're going to tell me that this guy is the 9th-ranked quarterback in the NFL? Are you out of your mind?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Lenovo Center July 26th and 27th. Brought to you by BKT Tires, the original Superglue, and Texas Roadhouse.
Experience legendary craftsmanship with an Omega timepiece. From the iconic Speedmaster that accompanied astronauts to the moon, to the Seamaster, loved by the world's most famous spy, Omega watches capture the spirit of adventure and precision. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, find a timepiece that matches your story. Discover your Omega at Bailey's today. Voted best jeweler. Learn more at baileybox.com.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Let's rent e-bikes and have a picnic.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
We need to fix the gutters. Let's make 6 trips to the hardware store and still end up with leaky spots.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
It's game night in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on Indy 11 this Friday, July 18th at First Horizon Stadium. Grab your tickets now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com and don't miss a moment of the action.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. This is the song you want to send us into the weekend with, Dennis? There we go.
Little Reckless Kelly to start the weekend.
Boom. There's only one way to go from here to the weekend. To go from that to the weekend, the only bridge we can cross is to make some picks. That's all that's left to do. Every Friday, we end the show looking at what's coming up in certain parts of the calendar. We can't fit in all the games. Certain part of the calendar, Dennis has to work pretty hard to find some things for us to pick. We're more in the latter than the former, but needless to say, we still got to get it done. So, Dennis, what are we picking?
Well, it's actually not quite necessarily a game, but it's something that we've been discussing quite a bit. Nic Scourton signs his rookie contract this weekend. It's a win or lose, yes or no.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a special copper drop. I'm saying yes. Part of it is I really want it to happen. The other part is the second round does the second rounders, right? From 48 hours ago when 30 were unsigned to now when there's probably less than 12 unsigned. It's been pretty steady, and I think agents are, they're gathering the information and they're reaching deals. So I think it'll happen. It looks like it's going to be somewhere in the, he'll have all but like $2 million guaranteed if he kind of matches the guys around him in the round. He's the 51st pick. Elijah Arroyo, the tight end for the Seahawks, who was the 50th pick, the pick right before him, of his $8.813 million deal. He got $6.872 guaranteed. Probably somewhere near that if you're just using logic. So I'll roll with that and say yes, Nic Scourton gets signed some point before the show on Monday, which is, really all I care about.
Okay, let's make another pick for this weekend. Give me the top 3 finishers of the Open Championship.
Top 3 finishers. All right. Scotty.
Scotty being number 1?
Yeah. It's bad business betting against Scotty.
I think he's a minus 175, I think,
to win the whole thing? That's
right now.
Ridiculous going into a weekend. But also not that crazy when you think about it. Like, if he were plus money, a bunch of people bet on it, which is crazy. If you were like plus, 180, it'd be like great value. I'm going to go. Do you want them in order or just 3?
Give me an order. Like an order.
Okay, I'm going Scotty wins. I'm throwing Robert McIntyre in second. He's 5 strokes off the lead, but he's in the top 5 right now. And I just like him because he's Scottish and it's the Open Championship, right? So there you go. And then I'll say Fitzpatrick holds on to 3, but he falls back and then jumps back into the top 3. Fitzpatrick's in second right now. So, guys that are all kind of in the mix right now. I'm not. It's kind of chalky, but at least I didn't go with the top 3 in order as it stands right now. So there you go. I'm going Scotty wins, McIntyre second, Fitzpatrick in third, and I say Scotty wins by like 3 strokes.
Yeah, he cooked today. A 6 under, if I remember correctly?
7 under on the day.
Oh, 7 under on the day.
7 under on the day. 10 under on the tourney.
It's not bad at all. All right, I know there are a lot of Atlanta Braves fans that are in this area. Atlanta Braves host the New York Yankees tonight. This has been like an all-90s dream matchup in the World Series for pretty much that entire decade. But the Atlanta Braves host the New York Yankees tonight. Give me a prediction for tonight's game. Yankees are heavily favored in this one. I think on the money line, they're actually, I take that back. Money line, the Yankees are plus 115, even though Atlanta is 11 games below 500.
So
I guess Spencer Strider is starting today.
Yes, and I was looking this up earlier today. Okay, yes, this is what I thought. Earlier today, the Yankees hadn't named a starter because I was looking at this for potential gambling reasons.
Hamilton, yeah.
Hamilton is not a starter. He is.
Oh, he's not?
I believe it's gonna be a bullpen game for the Yankees. Technically he is the starter. I'm saying he's not like a starting pitcher by name. He's a guy that's probably gonna go two innings at most.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a bullpen game. He's the opener, might be the better way to put it. I don't like betting on teams that have to run with bullpen games. A lot of times in the gambling world, I like to pick anytime home run hitters against teams that are going to go with bullpen games because it's like whatever type of pitcher they do well against, chances are they're going to get a look. And then Spencer Strider obviously is he's a starter. I'll give him that. The Braves have had their struggles this year, but at least they have a starter on the mound. So yeah, I guess give me the Braves.
And Braves on the money line are minus 135. Oh, Yankees sound like...
All right, wait a second. Hold up. Now it feels like this is a stinker game.
Might be.
This is one where Vegas knows something we don't. Mm-hmm. So they put the Braves as the favorite to invite all of the money on the Yankees?
Maybe.
Thus, I want to be on the side of the book. So give me the Braves. Close. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
No, it does not. But hey, it is what it is.
It must be the openers. So I'll do this. If I were to parlay it, I'm going to say, actually, your bet from earlier. I would put Aaron Judge anytime home run.
Darn right.
And the Braves to win. And my guess is you're going to get a nice payoff out of that because the Yankees are probably pretty good when Aaron Judge hits a home run.
Probably. All right, let's actually go to another Major League Baseball game. Actually, 2 of the top teams in all Major League Baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers, who are 56-40 on the season. They're on the road taking on the LA Dodgers, who are 58-39 on the year. So again, 2 of the best teams in all Major League Baseball going at it tonight. Brew Crew at the Dodgers. Dodgers minus 190 on the money line.
These are 2 of the better teams that do it a completely different way. One, small market. You got to get, find value where you can. The other is like we wait for somebody to be an MVP candidate elsewhere, then we just hire them away for way more money. That's what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers have a guy that came through Durham, I believe, Tyler Glasnow, out there on the mound. So that's very similar, right? The Rays develop him. He comes through Durham. He ends up with the Rays. He becomes a star. And then the Dodgers say, how much is it going to take to get you to leave? I don't love like what the Dodgers mean to baseball, but I do respect the level of talent they have. So, yeah, give me the Dodgers. They're minus 190. So I'd give whatever points I have to, or whatever runs I have to get it closer to a minus 110. Like if they got to win by 2.5 or whatever, I'll do that just because I think although if we look at the regular season series, look at this. The Brewers are 3-0 against the Dodgers. They won 9-1, 3-1, and 3-2. And I actually think when they won 9-1, both of us, or whoever the producer was for a ladder challenge, had picked different Dodgers to hit home runs in that game. Oh, yeah. And then the Brewers won 9-1. So I'll fall for it again. Give me the Dodgers and give a couple runs. And I'll feel stupid when it's wrong again because I've been wrong on this exact matchup in the past.
Dodgers minus 1.5 is actually even money.
There you go. I'll take that. Give me even money. Dodgers win by 2.
All right, let's actually shift focus over here to what we all know is great, and that's the Premier Lacrosse League, the PLL. Schedule out this weekend, actually taking place here in about 30 minutes. You have the New York Atlas taking on your team, the California Redwoods.
Atlas? Are we talking like the guy that has the world on his shoulders?
No, like Atlas, like a bull.
Is an Atlas a bull? I've never heard
know.
that. I think Atlas is the guy that...
Oh, yeah, Atlas held up the world.
Yeah. Like Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I just realized what I am when you bring up these lacrosse questions.
What's that?
I am the person in like the Office March Madness pool that is like, well, what would win in a fight, the Wolverines or the Wildcats? And then I take Michigan because a Wolverine would beat a Wild. Like that's what I'm doing here. I know so very little about is this Premier Lacrosse?
Yeah, PLL.
I know so very little about the Premier Lacrosse League that I resort to like California Redwoods is just a great mascot. So I'm a Redwoods fan. What does their logo look like? Is it just a tree?
It's a bear.
Okay, so they're going full California. I like that less.
There's a bear, but there's like some trees in the background.
Because the California, the bear's on like the state flag, right? Yeah. And people are, I know. Atlas. Let's go Atlas.
Okay, well.
But they're a bull, and it's that doesn't make any sense either. They have great team names. They need better logos.
Okay, well, the Atlas has the best record in the entire league. So
I got there anyway.
Exactly.
I got there anyway.
You got there.
Long with different paths to the same answer.
Also tonight, Carolina Chaos taking on the Utah Archers.
Carolina Chaos, not great, but the Utah Archers is just bad.
It's a great name.
Is it?
Yeah.
You like the Archers?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's because the Mammoth is so perfect for Utah that now, like, by comparison, the Archers aren't as good to me. No,
Archers are there first.
Yeah, but then they got one-upped. They got better.
I don't know. Archers are 2-time champs. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just talking logos here. What do you
That's
think?
fair.
I think I'm talking talent.
I get the arrowhead, though, as your logo. That's pretty cool.
Definitely not talking talent if I'm taking the Mammoth. Give me the Chaos. Local.
Fair enough.
Give me Carolina Chaos.
Okay.
That pretty much does it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
When you do a minute and 30 on logos in the PLL, that means it's Friday and it's time for the weekend.
It's Friday and it's July.
That's going to do it for us here on The Drive. We are 5 days from Carolina Panthers training camp, open in full force. We won't have time for PLL logo talk very soon.
Well, we can make that happen.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back on Monday. Subscribe to our YouTube, por favor, please. You'll be the real MVP. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. There's podcasts going out there all the time. There's clips from this show. There's great conversation in the comments. So jump in there, right? Get in the mix. Let us know. You might just hear your comment brought up on here during a feedback frenzy on the show. As far as that goes, Monday we'll announce our winner of the Win Your Weight and Meat competition. So if you are one of our 10 finalists, phone on at 4 o'clock on Monday. Somewhere you will hear it. And I think that's it for the housekeeping. YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you on Monday. Stick around all weekend for Open Championship updates brought to you by McConnell Golf. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody in Duke's starting five that made the Final Four got drafted. 3 of them in the top 10. Cooper Flagg 1, Con Knipple 4, Kamon Malawach went 10. Sion James and Tyrese Proctor also drafted. And I keep hearing, how did they not win the title? How did they not even